Duffy will support Mella up top. New signing, ex-United defender Cameron Borthwick-Jackson and former Stoke Academy midfielder Mikey Stone are on the bench. Oliver Glasner makes 6 changes from Crystal Palace's goalless draw against Villa on Wednesday. Jean-Philippe Mateta has a knee issue. He's not going to be risked on this AstroTurf pitch here in Macclesfield, so he hasn't travelled. But Mark Gahey, Adam Wharton, Jeremy Pino all do start for the defending champions. In then for these 6 changes comes 16-year-old winger Joel Drakes-Thomas, Christianas Uche, Sosa, Richards, Rodney and goalkeeper Benitez. So out go Mateta, Johnson, Mitchell, Hughes, Lacroix and Henderson. So Palace line up like this: Benitez in goals, a back 3 of Convo, Richards and Gahey. Then it's Devaney, Wharton, Rodney, Sosa and Drakes-Thomas and Pino will support Uche up top. It is Macclesfield FC against Crystal Palace. The third round is underway of the FA Cup on a sold-out Moss Rose, and a really special afternoon for the Silkmen. An immediate challenge just to the left-hand side of the box from the long start to the game, and it's Sosa who's just down receiving a little bit of treatment as Macclesfield attack from right to left in front of us. And Joe Bunny, what a day this is.
Welcome to non-league there. First tackle, he's got blood coming out of his head, I think he's going to have that cut sealed up, but yeah, first tackle from Paul Dawson there. Welcome to non-league.
Yeah, get straight stuck in. Captain leading from the front here on Total Sports. It is the second of 4 FA Cup commentaries after Wigan got through to the 4th round yesterday. Are we on for a big upset, which would be a major upset, arguably one of the biggest ever in the competition if 6th tier Macclesfield FC could get past the holders. They've got a throw in then on the left hand side, just in line with the Crystal Palace penalty box, which is going to be taken by Lewis Lacey, whose birthday it was yesterday, turning 21. And Lacey darts past 2, goes around Drake-Thomas, lays it back to Paul Dawson when the left hand edge of the box got 3 Crystal Palace players up against him, and he just runs it out of play though, and you can hear the atmosphere. It's going to be intimidating, isn't it? It's a closed ground, this one. And it is going to be a goal kick though to Walter Benitez, Joe Bunny.
Yeah, slippy 18-yard box. That it was surprising that Crystal Palace flipped ends. I think they've gone with putting the sun in Macclesfield's eyes, but that 18-yard box is full of the snow that they've not got rid of. I don't think it gets any sun, that one, but yeah, it'd be a difficult half for them to defend in that box. Yeah,
there is some ice just on the surface of the penalty box away to the left-hand side. Max Durney away to our right-hand side in all that sunshine, as you say, Joe. He's got a cap on all in pink as well in front of these fans, in front of the Crystal Palace fans actually that have travelled. Some of them travelled up here for today's game. Haven't won in 8 games of Oliver Glasner's side, as Captain Paul Dawson just receiving a little bit of treatment down in front of us off the pitch. So down to 10 men at Macclesfield at the moment, and it's Palace then who will have the ball in the middle of the park. It's Drakes-Thomas who's got the ball at the back, and Rodney, and now with Adam Wharton, the England man, and Sosa on the ball now on the left-hand touchline as they look to get an early attack, clad all in gold, Oliver Glasner's side. Gahey just inside the Macclesfield half. Mella goes to chase down Chris Richards, and Gahey again lays it down to the left-hand touchline. Quick touch into Pina, who goes around the corner looking for the run of Uche onto the penalty box, but Macclesfield come across and Heathcote will exchange it with Max Durney, and Durney goes long, but Palace get the ball back inside the opening 2.5 minutes here, 0-0 in the FA Cup third round. Fenton dispossesses the Macclesfield, the Crystal Palace attack, and Crystal Palace will get again. We're going to see a lot of this, aren't we? Palace having the ball, Joe.
Yeah, they've looked to step their authority straight away on the game, having a lot of possession. Matt quite happy for him to have it though. Nice shape, just moving side to side across the pitch and nothing threatening just yet.
Yeah, and it's Drake-Thomas then, the 16-year-old, the second youngest player in FA Cup history. He runs the ball out of play. Lewis Lacey showed in the line, and it goes out for throwing in the left-back position for Macclesfield FC. What do you think John Rooney's message then is? We mentioned before, is it just about enjoying the occasion?
Yeah, I do think that you try and go into every game that you want to try and win. So we will be compact, keep your heads, keep your discipline, try and stay in the game. Just the key messages really, just that, like you say, try and stay in the game, don't get an early goal, keep your heads going, work hard and see where it takes us. But they'll enjoy the moment. The atmosphere is brilliant here and the fans are a bit hostile, so hopefully any bit of a chance going to Macclesfield away will give them a bit of a boost.
Yeah, early chance of Premier League. You're having a laugh from the Silkman supporters here at Moss Rose. It is goalless, 3.5 minutes played, and it's Crystal Palace then who've got the ball with Devaney just in front of John Rooney in the technical area, but his pass through to Drakes Thomas is intercepted. St Uche will win the ball back, a well-muscled pair by Heathcote, who gives the Crystal Palace striker a bit of an earful as he clears it long. And now Macclesfield have the chance to get a bit of possession and territory as Lacey tries to dart down the line, but Devaney manages to block him off. And Macclesfield have the ball with Mayonesse, the former Aldershot man, and the ball back now with Durnley, and he's has to come out of his goal then, just clear it just down to the right hand side as Crystal Palace attacked by the corner flag, and the Eagles will get a throw in just in front of the corner flag away down there. It is 0-0 here. Total Sport, the second of 4 Total Sport commentaries. Last night Wigan, of course, getting through. Can Macclesfield follow them into the 4th round? Later on, Manchester City face in action against Exeter City. And it's going to be then Chris Richards, the American, with the throw, and it's going to be a long one into the Macclesfield FC box. The players take up a line just on the edge of the 6-yard area. And the throw-in coming from Richards as the referee just having a word, Tim Robinson, but here it comes then. It's launched long into the box. It beats the first man, but the second man manages to get it away, only so far as Wharton, who heads it back into the box, and it'll be shepherded out of play for a goal kick to Max Durnley. 0-0, Joe.
Yeah, long throw in there. First one they've had to deal with, really Macclesfield, but dealt with it well. First and second contact and see the ball out and get themselves a goal kick.
0-0 then here in the FA Cup 3rd round. It's been a decent start from Macclesfield so far, more than holding their own against the Premier League opposition. Macclesfield coming into this one have not won a game in their last 4 they've beat Macclesfield, but before that they hadn't won a game in 4 in the Northern Premier League and in the National League North, as the ball now with Walter Benitez in that penalty box to the left-hand side, which has still got lots of ice on it from the frozen conditions overnight. And Adam Wharton and Mark Gahey will exchange passes, the 2 England internationals. Gahey with a bandage on his left hand, and now Richards will come forward, and Buckley Ricketts tries to close down Devaney, but he sends the ball first time down the line, and now it's Drakes Thomas who's charging on. He's got Mayonesse who's come across to stand up to him. Drakes Thomas, those helped out in the end by his teammate is Mayonesse, and he boots it away for a throw-in to Crystal Palace in line with the penalty box on the right-hand side. And it will be again a long throw-in sent from their centre-back, from Chris Richards. One of 6 changes for Oliver Glasner's side as Paul Dawson goes down just to receive a little bit of treatment on his left shin. Looks like he's been in the wars already as the skipper.
Yeah, I feel there's like a little bit of blood on his sock and his face.
He was in a collision, wasn't he, inside the opening
in the
60 seconds?
Yeah,
and he received a bit of treatment to it, but he's the physio's out and he's just having something bandaged up on his face again.
It's a tough lad, Paul. He'll be all right.
Was he certainly is as well as Paul Dawson. Over 100 appearances for the Silkmen. Started his career at Morecambe as well. Scored an absolute worldie in their game in the week, did Paul Dawson. Just outside the box, off the underside of the bar. He certainly does lead from the front, and something that you know as well from your time here.
Yeah, I played against Paul quite a lot. I never actually played with Paul, but we've got a lot of mutual friends. But he was at Bamber Bridge in non-league for a while I was. But somebody that's a leader, a proper captain, like you say, puts his head where it hurts and leads by example, and he's capable of scoring, like you say, a worldie from 25-30 yards like he did the other day.
Convo also receiving a bit of treatment as well. He was involved in the collision with Paul Dawson inside the opening minute here of the FA Cup 3rd round. He's just having it to his eyebrow, the right hand side of his eyebrow. There was a coming together, and he is also being patched up as well, which is maybe slightly taking the sting out of this one. A lot of anticipation around it. FA Cup 3rd round, the first time this Macclesfield FC as a Phoenix club has reached this stage. The furthest Macclesfield Town got was the 4th round. That came in 2013 when they were knocked out by Cardiff. So Dawson, he's got the bandage wrapped around his head. Terry Butcher, and him and Convo just exchange high fives as they wait to come on though. In the meantime, it will be a throw-in line with the right hand edge of the box. Chris Richards to take it. Max Durnley with that cap on in the Macclesfield FC goal. It's launched long. It's flicked up in the air, but one bounce and comfortably into the hands of Max Durnley. 3 clean sheets in his 21 National League appearances this season. His second year playing for Macclesfield FC. And he will just roll the ball out now to Sam Heathcott to bring it forwards and exchange passes with Mayanese, his centre-back partnership, and Lacey first time down the line looking for Buckley Ricketts, but it's overhit and Richards will come out and launch it long, and Mayanese will use keeper Durnley. Uche just closing down Max Durnley, but he manages to clear it onto the head of Josh Kay, who flicks it looking for Mellor, who hasn't received much service in these opening 9 minutes on Total Sport, where it's Macclesfield FC 0, Crystal Palace 0. And now Devaney will get it right hand touchline, lays it further forward to Drakes Thomas. And Devaney goes past Lacey now. Devaney up into the box. Ball comes in. Cross looking over the head of the on-running Rodney. And it's flicked clear by Macclesfield, but only so far as Mark Gahey, though, the Crystal Palace captain, linked with moves in this January window. Ball on the left-hand side. Sosa tries to get across into the box, but it's blocked by Fensham, and Macclesfield FC will clear it. But again, Crystal Palace get that ball then in their left-back position. And Gahey further down the touchline to Sosa. Sosa, the Croatian international, the first Croat to play for Crystal Palace. The ball finds its way down the right-hand side by the corner flag to Devaney. Ball into the box, straight into the arms of Max Durnley. It remains 0-0. 10 minutes played here on Total Sport.
Yeah, Crystal Palace probing a little bit. I think Macclesfield just need to get hold of the ball a little bit and have a bit of a spell of the ball just to give themselves a little bit of a foothold in the game. I feel that it's all Crystal Palace with the ball and Macca just sat in the shape, but I think they need a little bit of ball just to get a bit of a foothold.
Some early goals flying in the FA Cup third round. Wolves 2-0 up against Shrewsbury. Goalless Cheltenham and Leicester, Everton and Sunderland, and here as well at Moss Rose to follow. Manchester City against Exeter City. We may see the home or the debut of Antoine Semenyo when he joined Manchester City yesterday. Dawson then heads the ball out of play just in front of John Rooney, who is on the edge of his small technical area in front of us. So too Oliver Glasner as well, the Crystal Palace manager. And it's Adam Wharton who dances past 2 Macclesfield players. Tries a 1-2 with Pino, but his return ball is intercepted by Macclesfield and by Duffy. And now it's at the back with Fensham. Joe Bunny calling for Macclesfield to get some possession of the ball. They have got it at the moment. Just over 10 minutes played here at Moss Rose. Kicking into the sunshine as the ball's chipped long, looking for Josh Kay back into the starting 11 after his suspension, but it just zips off the surface and behind for a goal kick to Walter Benitez away to the left-hand side here, where it is 0-0.
Yeah, that icy 18-yard box again, it just it looked like it was going to stay in. It just skips off the surface and Matt Gay sees it out, but a little bit better from Macclesfield, just trying to put the stamp on the game, just to take the sting out of Crystal Palace's attack a little bit, rather than them having the ball all the time. Just put your foot on it and see if you can have a little bit of the ball.
Yeah, we saw a shock last night with Wrexham getting past Nottingham Forest on penalties, but just one division between those two, not the 5 between these two sides. And now Pino dances into the box and slides a right-footed effort 6 yards wide of Max Durnley's goal. The first half chance goes the way of Crystal Palace. It was quick interplay. Uche was involved. He slid it through to Pino, and his effort wide of goal, 0-0.
Seems like a really big chance, that. I mean, I'm not really sure how he got that wrong, because Roland Magnassi gets over, but he looked like he wasn't going to get there, and Pino was in on goal, but he seemed to fluff his lines a little bit.
Sort of just, he didn't hit through the ball, did he? Kind of sort of a half sort of effort, really, in terms of a side foot. Tried to place it a little bit, but he could only place it wide.
To see that as a missed chance, yeah, it's a big opportunity.
Devaney fouls Dawson inside the Crystal Palace half. Free kick given away of Macclesfield FC. And that chance to Jeremy Pino, who's got 1 goal for Crystal Palace in the league this season. Villarreal summer signing, where of course in his time at the club he won the Europa League there. And quite different playing in Villarreal to playing on a cold afternoon here at Macclesfield. And this free kick to be taken then by Edmondson. And he is over the ball now. And Edmondson then sends it in. Oh, it's a good ball into the box. There was no runners making it into the 6-yard area, and it does go behind. But if there'd have been bodies coming across the box there, all it needed was a touch, Joe.
Yeah, it was a good ball. I think Palace held a really high line, so it was difficult for anyone to try and get in behind it. But again, he's using that icy, slippy 18-yard, but just a fire one across the face there.
So 0-0 then here at Moss Rose. Total Sport. BBC Radio managed on BBC Sounds as well this afternoon, so you can listen if you're out and about on this chilly Greater Manchester afternoon. And Crystal Palace playing it around their backline with Richards now on the right-hand side to Convo. And Paul Dawson intercepts Devaney's ball, which was looking for Drakes Thomas, and he keeps it in on the left-hand touchline. Now Buckley Ricketts as well flicks it further forward, and Dawson's got an opportunity to send the ball into the box. Duffy rises, it's just over his head, and Sosa will flick it clear, but only so far as a left-footed effort by Lacey, which was curler into the arms of Walter Benitez. 0-0.
Yeah, fans are up for it now. As soon as they get a little bit of a chance like that, that's what I mean by a bit of momentum, and a bit of belief from the crowd will rub off onto the players. Really good phase. First shot on target then goes the way of Macclesfield FC. They're underway at Edgeley Park, Stockport County against Huddersfield Town. Reports to come on Total Sport. That one a key battle in the League One playoff places, 4th against 6th. Here it is, 13th place in the Premier League, Crystal Palace against 14 in the National League North, Macclesfield FC. And Mark Gahey then slides the ball across the centre circle to Wharton. And now Drakes Thomas, well intercepted there though by Lacey, because he was trying to flick it around the corner to Devaney on the right-hand touchline. And Wharton has the ball to Drakes Thomas, who's offside. 15 minutes played. Yeah, young, naive a little bit. He should be onside there. Scott Warren does so well to free himself up, to slide him in behind, and he's looking right across the line, a young lad. And good interception there, wasn't it, by Lacey? He's looked bright at left back, and, you know, when you're coming up against Premier League opposition, how good is it to kind of get that first sort of challenge in, that first kind of tackle, and win the ball against your marker? Yeah, definitely. As a full-back and played down myself, that first one's really, really important. It sets you up for the rest of the game, and he's done well so far. He's got nice and tight, nice and early. Great week for them, with his brother making his debut as well for United. Yeah, and quite a few United connections here at Moss Rose. Damani Mellor, the Macclesfield FC forward, one senior appearance for the Reds. And as the ball now at the back with Mark Gahey, and it's driven forward on the left-hand touchline to Sosa. Gahey made a charging run forward, but instead comes inside to Rodney, playing alongside Adam Wharton. And now it's Convo, and we're in the centre circle with Chris Richards. All players inside the Macclesfield FC half, and Rodney has the ball now, and again it's back with Richards. It's a very sunny afternoon here at Moss Rose. The sun blinded into the eyes of goalkeeper Max Durnley. He's got a cap on the right hand side, as Macclesfield were switched around at the start by Crystal Palace, who won the toss. And Crystal Palace keeping the ball now with Convo. 0-0 here on Total Sports. Last night Wigan got through into the 4th round with a 1-0 victory against Preston North End. Manchester City against Exeter to follow. Palace though give the ball away, and Damani Mellor just ran around in a little circle. He was trying to look for some options there, and his pass couldn't quite find Buckley Ricketts, and instead it will be Drakes Thomas, the 16-year-old. One of 6 changes for Oliver Glasner. He lays it back to Mark Gay, who launches the ball long, and it's an offside flag against Jeremy Pino. 0-0. Doing really well, Macclesfield, with they're in a back 4 against Crystal Palace's back 3, and they're getting a joy out wide with the wing backs, Crystal Palace, but not really getting in behind, and Macclesfield back 4 doing really well and getting out to their wing backs when it gets out to Palace's wing back. So yeah, really good, frustrating him, forcing things over the top at the minute, Crystal Palace, because they've got nothing through the middle. So yeah, no, Jean-Philippe Matete hasn't travelled with the Crystal Palace squad. He's struggling with some knee issues, and Oliver Glasner says he wasn't going to be risked playing on this AstroTurf. So instead, it is Chris Uche who is that front man. Just 2 goals this season. Both came in the Conference League for the Getafe loanee. As Macclesfield strapped well in the middle of the park, but the ball finds its way to Sosa. 30 yards out on goal, sends it from left to right, looking for Devaney. It's out of his reach though, and away for a throw-in to Macclesfield FC by their left-hand corner flag. And those fans standing away to our right-hand side, 5,300 of them here. It's sold out. It's a great afternoon for the club. 5 years since rising from the ashes of going under as Macclesfield Town, and great credit to Rob Smethurst, Robbie Savage as well, of course. Those two took it over in 2020, bought the assets, and have built it from the ground up. And you can watch their programme, Making a Macclesfield, on the iPlayer right now. What a game, what an occasion this is for the club. Ball then launched long. Dawson with that bandage round his head up against Convo.
And Macclesfield again starting to build as Lacey's just standing next to Oliver Glasner as he prepares to take this second throw. And again, Dawson rises and tries to flick it on, but instead it's Wharton who sends it forward in a big head from Heathcote. And it's out for a throw-in on the halfway line to Crystal Palace. John Rooney, arms in his pockets. Could be relatively happy, won't he? Joe Bunning,
he will be, yeah, and the assistant manager there, Francis Jeffers, trying to read the ball back in play. I'm sure he'd be loved to playing in this. There's plenty of moments for him in the FA Cup, but yeah, they'd be happy with this. Macclesfield, they've limited Crystal Palace to very little. They're in a good shape. Obviously, Palace are Premier League for a reason. They grind teams down, and it's whether Matt can keep the discipline and keep doing what they're doing. Sosa
then has the ball on the left-hand touchline, and Pino with the gloves, and Wharton, nice pass, left-hand side. And it's with Rodney, sends it into Pino again. It's Uche battling at the back with Mayonnaise, and Macclesfield get it clear, but only so far as Gahey. The ball then comes into the box. Oh, looking for the head of Drakes Thomas. It was just ahead of him, and Dearnley into his arms. But a touch there from the youngster might have caused problems for Max Dearnley. 0-0.
Yeah, should score, Alex. Big chance again. Middle of the 6-yard box. He almost took his eye off it. It's just any little touch, I think, takes the ball in.
So two decent chances for Crystal Palace. Uche, Drakes Thomas having them. The one-on effort from Lewis Lacey from Macclesfield FC straight into the arms of Walter Benitez. And it is Crystal Palace then who have the ball at the back. 20 minutes played goalless here on Total Sports. The second of 4 commentaries on BBC Sounds this weekend for you. Wigan won last night, City to follow at 3 against Exeter, and tomorrow Manchester United and Brighton from 4:30 as Crystal Palace with Sosa flicks it back into his own half, and Mark Gahey, the Crystal Palace captain, with Wharton now sprays a lovely ball from the centre circle down the right hand channel, and it's Devaney who runs onto it up against Lewis Lacey. Devaney left footed sends the ball in, but it's headed calmly away by Mayonnaise, who was the first man. And Damani Mella battling, trying to win something, trying to scrap with Chris Richards. But Gahey this time will try to ping the ball, looking for Devaney. That's their outlet ball, isn't it, at the moment, Joe? Looking for that right-hand channel, and it's where it is again with Devaney. Sends the ball into the box, and Max Dearnley does come well and claim it.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. They're trying to get down on the right-hand side from a diagonal switch, and it's using that wing-back that they have from Mark Gahey. He's found it a few times, that diagonal pass over to Devaney out here. But Mac dealing with it okay at the minute. I just want to see Mac impose herself on the game a little bit more. They've got Luke Duffy, who's an unbelievable ball carrier. He's not really had a chance to get in the game yet.
It is Duffy, as you say, Joe, who now has the ball midway inside the Crystal Palace half. Ball into the box, looking for Mella, who goes sliding down under the pressure from Convo, but it's claimed by Walter Benitez. Good ball there into the box from Lewis Fenton, who scored against Tottenham in the second round. In the first round, so that was the first round. Tottenham 6-3. That was a great game. I was here for that afternoon in the FA Cup, and it's Dawson who's battling with Rodney. Dawson using all of his experience. He is getting the crowd up, isn't he? If they need it even further, Joe.
Yeah, brilliant. Leading by example, running around, winning the ball back, keeping the ball for his team.
Dearney just gave it away.
Everything that this Macclesfield team's about.
Yeah, Dearney just gave the ball away, but it was headed for by Pina, but offside position from Uche. Yeah, he really is the captain for Macclesfield FC. Lewis Lacey just spun round Devaney and wins the throw-in from Drakes Thomas. Oliver Glasner flicks it back to Lewis Lacey. That's probably a sentence that's never been said before.
Won't say that much.
0-0. 22 minutes played here on Total Sports. And Lacey whacks the ball up into the air. Leicester have a disallowed goal at Cheltenham and one of the other 12-15 kickoffs in the FA Cup third round. And Fenton's got acres of space to run into as he enters the Crystal Palace half, but he sloppily gives the ball away, looking for Duffy, and it's Gahey who has it. And then now with Rodney and Devaney, he flicks it to him, and Devaney though needs to go back all the way to his goalkeeper. And Damani Mella chasing down Walter Benitez, and he's going to get a second opportunity to do so here in that tricky penalty box away to the left-hand side. And in fact, Leicester have gone 1-0 up at Cheltenham. Daka with the goal. here, 0-0, 23 minutes played, and Devaney, the ball just runs out of play there, and he keeps it in, tries to go past Lacey, and in fact, the Crystal Palace man will win a throw-in. Again, all the action coming down this right-hand channel for Crystal Palace, but no breakthrough so far. 2 decent chances for the Eagles, the defending champions here at Moss Rose. 5,300 supporters in attendance. It doesn't get any busier than this. And it's going to be Chris Richards who has the ball then. Another of his long throw-ins. The man born in Alabama. The players inside that 6-yard box being marshalled by Captain Paul Dawson. Bandage around his head. Orange captain's armband on his left arm. And Richards launches the ball into the box. There is Dawson with a head away, only so far as Drake's Thomas. Drake's Thomas again. It's blocked though as he tried to scoop the ball into the box. And Josh Kay now on the edge of the right-hand penalty box, lays it back to Fensom, who wallops it clear, and it's brought down by Devaney on the halfway line now. Oh, Damani Mellon nearly nicked in on Devaney, but he manages to keep hold of the ball, and Palace have it inside the centre circle. It's 0-0 here on Total Sport as Drake's Thomas has it, and now with Adam Wharton, and they have it at the back again to Crystal Palace. So let's check in then the opening 10 minutes at Edgeley Park. Stockport against Huddersfield. Anthony Waring.
Yeah, it's goalless in this first 10 minutes. Alex, Stockport 0, Huddersfield Town 0. In brilliant sunshine, these two sides currently occupying the League One playoff spots. So Huddersfield in 4, Stockport in 6. And both sides at the moment have opened up very cagey. Not really any chances to speak of so far. Just one maybe from the visitors. Radulovic heading wide from a corner. We've got a stoppage in play right now because Radulovic needs treatment. But so far, it's no real chances to speak of and no goals following that. It's Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0.
It's also no goals to speak of here at Moss Rose. Macclesfield FC against Crystal Palace. Shrewsbury have got a goal back at Wolves. 2-1 Wanderers leads as Max Durney then has a free kick just inside the Macclesfield FC half. He sends it long, well brought down by Buckley Ricketts, who is being hustled by Devaney, and Crystal Palace will win the ball back. And Adam Wharton try to send the ball across, and now Duffy has an opportunity just on the edge of the box. It was he brought the ball down on his chest and in the end kind of snatched it in as it fell with a right foot, and it went well wide of Benitez's goal. But just shows that you can't be complacent if you're Crystal Palace.
Yeah, of all players, Wharton as well, don't really give the ball away much, but gives Duffy a chance there. I think he lashed at it a little bit. He had a little bit more time than he thought, but yeah, half a chance.
Second half chance then for Macclesfield FC. There's one on target from Lacey straight at Benitez, and that one as well. No real clear-cut chances for the Silkmen at this stage for the first time since reforming in 2020. It's Total Sports. Just under 20 minutes left of the first half as Mark Gahey has the ball just inside the Macclesfield half, and he sends it long looking for Devaney. Nice ball. First touchdown from Devaney to Drake's Thomas. In from the start, one of 6 Palace changes as Wharton tried to send it left-footed into the box, but it's headed clear. Only so far, those Ucho 30 yards out. He steps on the ball and Edmondson nips in, and now Palace have an opportunity to try and break forward. Duffy sends it down the right-hand flank, and it's Josh Kay up against Mark Gahey, and Kay nips at the heels of Kay nips at those heels, and down goes the Palace captain in a free kick, which he would take midway inside the Palace half, goalless.
Yeah, another diagonal there from Mark Gahey trying to get down this right-hand side. Might do well to break, and just that final pass just to get themselves up the pitch and relieve a little bit of pressure and stay on the ball. Josh Kay just facing his own goal there. Mark Gahey didn't really need to foul him, but brings him down.
Josh Kay back into the starting line for Macclesfield after serving a 3-game suspension for his second red card of the season. And now it's Pino who has the ball. Uche back to goal. Left-hand edge of the box as Crystal Palace attack it. Sosa. And Uche again. Good. Being tried to be closed down there by Duffy. And Uche goes for the effort on goal. It drifts wide of the right-hand post. But it was a snapshot from Crystal Palace. And it's wide, and it's 0-0, Joe.
Yeah, strike from distance again, limiting Crystal Palace from shots from distance or balls over the top, trying to get in behind. They've not really broke through that back four and the holding midfielder of Macclesfield just yet, so Macclesfield will be happy with this.
Yeah, they certainly will as we approach the halfway hour, and John Rooney hasn't moved from that position, just on the halfway line, has hands in his pockets. What an occasion. Younger brother of Wayne, who lifted this trophy with Manchester United. Now Uche manages to nip him behind the back, and Heathcote was challenging him, and eventually it came off Uche and behind for a goal kick. But we haven't seen that really so far, have we? Crystal Palace trying to get in behind through the middle, Joe.
No, not down the middle. They've been caught offside a few times trying to get down the middle, and there was a clearance, and Uche gets in behind, and Sam Heathcote does well just to get his body in front of him, and sees that out for a goal kick.
Uche, the Nigerian international, has had 10 substitute appearances in the Premier League. He's got the job of leading the line for Crystal Palace, who've got a lengthy injury list, including Eddie Nketiah. And Damani Mella does well to win a free kick just inside the left-hand touchline, midway through that Crystal Palace half. So an opportunity to put the ball into the box for Macclesfield here, Joe. Yeah,
brilliant from Damani Mella. Relieves a little bit of pressure, and it gives them a chance to put the ball into a dangerous area, like you say, that 18-yard box that seems a little bit slippy every time it goes into. Has not been tested much yet, but great work from Damani Mella.
It's going to be James Edmondson then with the green boots on to swing it in from the left-hand side. The players take up a position on the edge of the box. Here it comes Edmondson. Oh, he can't beat the first man though, and it's tapped clear, but Buckley Richards chases back and nips in, and he will use Edmondson again, who slides it to Lacey. Got a bit of space to drive the ball into. Here does Lacey, but it's one bounce and is behind for a goal kick to Benitez, and kind of in a weird way really, you kind of expect a bit more from Macclesfield.
Yeah, disappointing delivery. I mean, in them, you don't get many opportunities against a Premier League side, and that's an opportunity to put them under pressure and put a good ball into the box, and hitting the first man is disappointing.
And it is 0-0 as we approach 14 minutes left of this first half, and now Devaney tracking back to Wharton, who doesn't look and sends slightly a risky ball across the penalty area, and Richards and Gahey miscommunication, and Gahey eventually steps in and lays it back to Benitez, and there's that ball through the middle looking for Uche, and back to Max Durnley, who controls it with his right and sends it clear with his left, very calm and composed from the Macclesfield FC goalkeeper, as Convo sends it to Wharton. Wharton's ball though can't reach Devaney. Good slide in by Lacey, who again is going to have to work against Devaney, and scraps and does well in turns, and it's now Paul Dawson who tries to get out of a sandwich between Wharton and Drake's Thomas, and he sends the ball forwards. And Macclesfield FC really fighting for absolutely everything, and eventually a free kick given against the Macclesfield FC captain. But with under 15 minutes left of this first half, the 6th tier of English football side very much holding their own here at Moss Rose. Goalless 2 at Stockport against Huddersfield. City versus Everton Exeter to come on Total Sport, and Edmondson there, he had options down the left hand side, the on-running Buckley Ricketts. He tried to go inside and gave the ball away, and Macclesfield were on for the break there. As it is, it's Wharton who clips the ball from the centre, looking for the left hand run of Sosa, and it's out for a throw-in. But Joe, arms raised there.
Edmondson's got to play Bucket Richards in there. He's 1v1 out wide. It's the first opportunity he's had to get out the centre half, and for whatever reason turns that option down and tries to play inside and gives the ball away. But it's a massive opportunity to get your winger 1v1 with the centre half,
which we haven't seen any of so far from
none. Yeah, massive. They've got a couple of good ball carriers, Bucket Richardson, Duffy being another one, and they've not really had the chance to do that, and that was a massive opportunity to give him the ball. It's a 5-10 yard pass, and he refuses it and goes inside. Wrong decision.
Buckley Ricketts, the Curzon Ashton signing, former Manchester City youth player, born in Manchester as well, having a little run in this side at the moment. And he is just pressurising Convo, the Crystal Palace defender, who sends it down the line to Devaney, and now it's inside the Crystal Palace half, and Uche draws the foul from Paul Dawson. 0-0. 12 minutes left of the first 45 minutes. The FA Cup third round on BBC Sounds, and the ball on the left-hand side now with Sosa, who puts his foot on the ball. He's got 2 Macclesfield players up against him. Uses Gahey, the left centre-back, up. And now he uses and goes further back to Chris Richards. Macclesfield holding that back 4 line.
I don't want to jinx Macclesfield here, but if you're Crystal Palace now, you definitely know you're in a game. It turned up feel like it was going to be a light pushover. They definitely understand they're in a game now. They've not really had a chance. The Pino chances probably should have scored, and then a half chance for the header, but other than that, they found it difficult to break Macclesfield down. They've not really been dominant in the game. It's all in front of Macclesfield, which they'll be happy with.
Yeah, Durnley yet to pull off a save, yet to be called into action, and it is Rodney who tried to slide it to Pino, And Macclesfield will bring it. Now a big opportunity for them as Damani Mellor turns it down the corner. Right hand side, it's Duffy. First chance to run at the fullback. His ball into the box is missed by Convo. And Richards will eventually manage to get it clear. But a warning sign there for Crystal Palace. Should Duffy have done better there, Joe?
The opportunities, but you don't get them much to take your fullback or centre half on 1v1 like that. And Luke Duffy's got a great opportunity there to go and expose out wide and run, and it's a speciality of his running at someone 1v1, and he turns the option down and tries to cross early for Damani Mellor that probably wasn't really ready for the cross.
Yeah, Duffy, former Salford City man, that's where he started his career, now plying his trade with Macclesfield FC. As Gahey looks for that ball for Devaney, who's in an offside position.
Again, Alex, that diagonal from Mark Gahey, he's trying to find Devaney, and it's the fourth time he's been offside on that diagonal. Macclesfield holding their line really well with the back four, and Devaney with the wing back trying to get him behind. Oliver Glasner is not happy with Devaney, he's again offside.
And also, he's bearing the full brunt of it as well, Devaney, because they're literally feet away from each other, those two, on that touchline.
Yeah, and Oliver Glasner's literally could make the run himself. I think he's that close to him, but he's looking right down the line. He should not be offside, and it's not as if it's the pass has caught him out. Gahey's tried to find that pass 4, 5, 6 times down this half, and he's been offside 3 or 4 of them. It's not good enough from him.
So it means it'll be a free kick then to Max Sternley. This the first time since 2004-2005 season that the FA Cup holders have faced a non-league side. That was when Manchester United needed a replay to beat Exeter City. Well, there'll be no replays today if it stays this way. It will all be decided on the afternoon here at Moss Rose, where it is goalless between holders Palace and Macclesfield FC, who have the ball then inside the centre circle, and it's Edmondson who's battling really well with Rodney, and Drakes Thomas wins the ball and keeps it, and now Dawson, and now a chance for Fensom to send the ball into the box. Takes a slight deflection and into the arms of Walter Benitez. Neither goalkeeper yet to really be tested. As Joe was saying, the biggest chance for Pino inside this opening 36 minutes. Played here at Moss Rose. 20 minutes played at Edgeley Park. Let's see how Stockport County are getting on against Huddersfield. Anthony Waring.
Where we've played 21 minutes of this first half, it's still Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0, but Stockport, the home side, very much the better of the two teams. They should have opened the scoring through Carl Wotton, their leading goal scorer. A lovely cross from the left-hand side by Ben Osborne, and as Carl Wotton hit his shot, he found it blocked at point-blank range. Good defending, not able to make the goalkeeper into a save. Stockport have got themselves on top, but can they take the lead? It's Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0.
In the FA Cup, in the early kickoffs, 0-0 here then between the Silkmen and Palace. Wolves 2-1 up against Shrewsbury. Sunderland leading Everton 1-0, and Leicester 1-0 up against Cheltenham. Half-time, we'll look ahead to Manchester City against Exeter City, your second Total Sport commentary, which you can also hear on BBC Sounds. As Gahey now, 40 yards out from the Macclesfield goal, lays it to the left-hand side. Now Sosa, ball into the box, doesn't beat the first man, Heathcote, who brings it down onto Fensom, and it's flicked away, but Palace, they'll win the ball back. Rodney, Foy was going to go for an effort there, instead he slides it in to Pino, inside the Macclesfield FC box. Tries to clip it in. Dawson calmly heads it back to Max Sternley. All of his experience there, eh, Joe?
Brilliant. Takes the sting out of the attack. Brilliant. But again, there's another diagonal from Mark Gahey down this side to Devaney. Devaney comes back out, and Oliver Glasner's going mad for him coming back out down this side. I think they work so hard to create that diagonal pass. They get the diagonal pass. They get somewhat 1v1 out wide, and Devaney's coming back out.
Ball then, long, one bounce. Duffy trying to nick in, but it's Richards who clears it from just outside his penalty box. 7 minutes left then of this first half, 0-0 Macclesfield FC against Crystal Palace. And it is Mac who have the ball now with the captain. Dawson drives, has got Drakes Thomas chasing back, edge of the Palace box, and 2 players needed eventually to clear it, but only so far as Edmondson, and it's Buckley Ricketts. Oh, lovely ball, slides in, left hand edge of the box. Lacey, tried to send it to Paul Dawson, who's lurking on the edge of the Palace box, but couldn't beat the man. And Palace will clear, Joe.
There couldn't have been anyone better for him to pull that ball to let loose, and he just gets the pass wrong. Paul Dawson's gutted, he's waiting on the edge of the box for a strike, and unfortunately just didn't get the pass.
Oliver Glasner, exasperated, goes back to the dugout. He wouldn't have liked what he's seen inside these opening 40 minutes here, where it's goalless. And Uche rises, Pino wants to bounce, and it's offside. And it is 0-0, and again, that's the 5th time, I reckon, that Macclesfield have played Crystal Palace offside, Joe.
Yeah, brilliant, that back line. making that first contact to win that header, but making sure everybody's open, covering round, and like I say, Crystal Palace have just been limited to less, but just keep getting caught offside because that long ball in behind Macclesfield seem to be happy with, and they've dealt with that really well with their back four.
Fairly strong Crystal Palace side. Gahey playing, Pino in there as well, Adam Wharton too. So those three are obviously first 11 starters for Crystal Palace, who have got a lot of injuries at the moment. There are some teenagers playing, Drakes Thomas, Caden Rodney as well, and Convo at the back. And looking on the bench, Brennan Johnson there, Will Hughes and Tyreek Mitchell would be your three options to come on. Might be a way off that though. 6 minutes left of the first half, but it is goalless, and it is Lacey who goes past Drakes Thomas, or Drakes Thomas does well just to nip back. He's got his back to the Macclesfield goal though, and plays it to Convo, and now it's with Devaney who flicks it forward, but Josh Kay does well to come back and win the ball inside the Palace half. And Buckley Ricketts tried to just backheel it to Kay, but he's sent down the line instead by Dawson. Now Josh Kay, ball into the box, or can't beat Richards, who is the first man, and Edmondson will try to nod it down to Mellor, but Palace will clear. And now for the first time really in this first half, Crystal Palace maybe on the back foot a little bit here, Joe. Macclesfield coming into the game a bit more in terms of attacking.
Yeah, asking the question a little bit. They've gone a little bit longer with clearances and winning the first contacts, and they're asking a little bit of a question now of Crystal Palace, which is good.
Yeah, that's what we've been wanting to do. They're doing well defensively. Now what can they do going forward as Lewis Lacey uses goalkeeper Max Durnley's into the final 5 minutes. Though Durnley's clearance though just goes straight up in the air, nearly puts Lacey in trouble there. Lacey has to come back and head it down, and he needs the support of Edmondson in order to clear, and it's Josh Kay now drives it forward halfway inside the Macclesfield half. Dawson's got the overlap of Fenton, who's up from right back as he crosses the halfway line. Kay points for it to be played to him in the middle. This is where the ball is with Josh Kay, 30 yards out from goal, spins and turns left-footed, drags his effort. It was a speculative effort from Josh Kay, 30 yards or so out. He dragged it wide of the left-hand post all along the floor, and it's 0-0.
Yeah, wrong decision from Josh Kay. I think he knows that. There was Edmondson on to play central to come back out wide to Bucky Ricketts, but wrong decision shooting from 30 yards, but he just wanted his moment, I guess.
That moment may still come as it is 0-0, and we are just approaching half-time. And Wolves now 3-1 up against Shrewsbury in the other FA Cup games kicking off. Leicester 1, Cheltenham 0. Sunderland lead Everton by the same scoreline. And there's goalless as well in League One between Stockport County and Huddersfield Town. Big game that in the League One playoff. Will be at Bolton against Peterborough from League One. Updates to come from 3 in your commentary of Manchester City against Exeter, as Josh Kay does really well to win his side a free kick midway inside the Crystal Palace half. Does well battling up against Crystal Palace against Pino, and it will now be Luke Duffy and Edmondson who are never chance to get the ball into the Palace box, Joe.
Yeah, really good opportunity. The last one in the first man. It's a really good opportunity a couple of minutes before half time to challenge and try and get yourselves a goal just before half time, because it changes everything. Yeah,
could be a big moment. It is going to be Luke Duffy then over it, midway inside the Palace half, as I say, so quite far out. So it's going to be a whipped ball into the on-Russian players who are lurking on the edge of the Crystal Palace penalty box, which has got a frozen sheet in, so it's slippy conditions away to that left-hand side. The rest of the pitch in immaculate condition here at Moss Rose then. So Duffy then to take it. Duffy clips the ball into the box, heads go up, Dawson gets it, and Dawson nods it into the bottom right-hand corner of the goal. Macclesfield FC captain Paul Dawson has given the Silkmen the lead against the FA Cup holders. The fans are on their feet as Dawson celebrates away to the left-hand side. Captain Fantastic gives the Silkmen the lead. The upset is on. Macclesfield FC 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Unbelievable. Like I said, Alex, it's a massive opportunity just before half-time to get yourself in front, and it's the first time they've had a bit of quality into that box, and you get yourself a goal from it. Brilliant header from Dawson. He epitomises everything in this half that he's been in. He throws himself at that and gets himself on the score sheet. Brilliant 1-0 mark.
Absolutely unbelievable. Just before half-time, Macclesfield FC have taken the lead against the defending champions. We've been mentioning him all first half. Paul Dawson, he's led from the front. He led from the front from the very first minute when he caused a collision that had a bandage around his head, and his header was a ball whipped into the box by Duffy. and he headed it down firm into that bottom right-hand corner. Walter Benitez had no chance. And with the bandage as well, Joe, even more so. Great header.
Yeah, proper Terry Butcher on it. He thrown himself at that box, just a little bit of quality into that box. Like I say, it's an icy 18-yard box. I mean, even if you're going to clear it, you're not quite sure with it being a little bit slippy. So a second phase would have been ideal as well. But it's a great ball from Duffy. Great attacking header from Dawson, and see themselves through to half-time now. It's a completely different second half.
Just listen to that. The 5,300 Macclesfield FC fans in dreamland at the moment. Cam Palace responds quite away. Sosa, ball into the box. Sternley comes out and claims it though. And Oliver Glasner will be fuming. 90 seconds left of this first 45 minutes at a raucous Moss Road. To be fair, it was raucous from the very start, but the levels have just gone up an extra 10. Unbelievable scenes. 1-0 Macclesfield FC. So whatever happens, they've had their moment, well, their first moment hopefully, but they've had a moment against the FA Cup holders. What a tie this is, and they're holding their own. They've got the lead. All the fans away to the left-hand side in that standing area as Dawson celebrates in front of them. There's a Silkmen banner. Good luck to the Silkmen, it says, just behind Walter Benitez's goal. As the fourth official about to tell us how many minutes left then of the first half of this FA Cup third round tie. BBC Radio Manchester, BBC Sounds. It is the 6th tier of English football. Macclesfield FC leading the Premier League Crystal Palace, and we're into 3 minutes of added on time. And now it's just about keeping your head calm, isn't it, Joe, to get to the break?
I was just going to say, it's about composure now. It's about keeping your head, getting to half time, seeing the game through to half time, and then come up with a plan at half time that's going to get you through to the second half, because Palace will be upset with this first half. They've not done much, they've not threatened much, so I'm sure they'll get an addressing at half time and come out a different side. But brilliant from Macclesfield, get themselves in front. Now they've got something to defend, and it gives you that extra 10%. I've been there. You feel you've got that extra 10%, but when you score and you go in front like this, it gives you that extra boost to try and give yourself something to defend. So brilliant.
1-0 Macclesfield FC lead Crystal Palace. Leicester City 2-0 up now at Cheltenham. So no upset on the cards there, as 2.5 minutes left of the added on 3. Ball clipped forward is only one bounce and into the arms of Max Sternley. Palace are struggling to create. They looked quite bright early on. They had that chance from Pino, who should have done better. He dragged his effort wide off the left-hand post. But been a little bit shell-shocked, have the Premier League side. The holders, of course. Damani Mellor battling with Chris Richards, and Mellor chases down Benitez, who slips over as his clearance just skews out of play, and it's a throw-in on the right-hand side in line with the Crystal Palace box, which Lewis Fenton will take his time as he walks across to take it.
Again, Alex, back pass, and they close it down. He's under pressure in that slippery 18-yard box, and he slips as he kicks it, and he gives Macclesfield a throw-in in a dangerous area.
The hope that Macclesfield FC fans had before the game might be turning into a little bit of belief here. They lead Crystal Palace by goal to nil. Josh Kay comes back and slides in tackle on Pino. The referee's given it as a free kick. And that is going to,
what you would say, a typical non-league tackle, but he probably wouldn't get booked for that in his league, but you can't get away with that at these levels.
Yeah, and he does go into the book of referee Tim Robinson, just Josh Kay. And you said before the game that he always picks up yellow cards, does Josh Kay?
He's a walking yellow card, Josh Kay. He's a great lad, and he gives everything, and that's why his quality is playing on the edge, and he gives you so much. But yeah, sometimes he runs a risk of obviously yellow cards there. He's got to be careful.
On loan from Oldham Athletic this season, Josh Kay. Yeah, he's already picked up 2 red cards in the National League so far. As we've got, a minute left then of this first half. The Macclesfield FC lead through captain Paul Dawson's header. And Chris Richards has the ball at the back for Crystal Palace. And now it's Convo and Devaney on the touchline just in front of John Rooney. And Convo has the ball. Richards again to the whistles of the Macclesfield FC fans. They want to get into half-time ahead. And it is now with Mark Gahey. Is he going to send that ball down the line to Devaney? Instead, he sends it short, and there is the half-time whistle, and it sounds almost like the full-time whistle. Listen to those cheers. Macclesfield FC 1, Crystal Palace 0 at half-time in the FA Cup third round. The magic of the FA Cup well and truly alive here at Moss Rose. even if they fall to defeat, these Macclesfield fans have had a fantastic moment on BBC Radio Manchester, on TV as well. Over 5,000 of them here, and they are 1-0 up at the break against the defending champions, Joe Bunny.
I thought that was full time then with that cheer when he blew that whistle, but no, incredible half from Macclesfield. Like you say, the message before the game from Runes, I don't know what he said, but one thing he would have said stay in the game, and I don't think he didn't expect him coming in 1-0 up at half time, but at least a 0-0 would have been happy with. So they've been more than over the moon. They've been brilliant. They've stayed compact. They've limited Crystal Palace to very little. So same thing second half, although Crystal Palace will probably look to the bench and try and change things and try and have a go. They're going to have to get themselves back in the tie, so there'll be some pressure in the second half, but like you say, it's about the mentality now and how they deal with that and remaining calm and playing the game really, and the dark arts, as you say.
Yeah, the subs out in front of us, that Palace bench has got Brennan Johnson that they can bring on, Will Hughes as well, but not a lot else. So, Macclesfield, we spoke. Let's talk about the goal first of all, because it was a great ball into the box. We've been asking, to Matt to get those balls into the box, to put that pressure on the Palace backline, and it came from the head of the captain, who's probably had one of his best ever halves of football, Paul Dawson. Yeah,
he's been everywhere, and he, like you say, he epitomises that performance. He had a couple of opportunities to put the ball into the box and cause some problems, and was disappointing, wasn't he? They hit the first man every time, and the one chance that they get to put it in the box there with Luke Duffy from that side, he ends up putting it right in the middle of the 6-yard box. Difficult to defend, and Dawson, brilliant desire, everything, like I say, he epitomises in his performances, desire to go and get on the end of it and puts Macclesfield 1-0 up.
Desire to get on the end of it, but desire throughout that half as well, wasn't it, in terms of he's got a bandage around his head from the first minute. He almost doesn't care that it's Premier League opposition, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's really going for it.
Yeah, he set the tone, didn't he, in the first minute, and like you say, Convoy, I think when they come off here to shake hands and Dawes offered a bit of a peace offering, I don't think he liked it, to be honest, and like you say, you let him know that they're in a game early and this isn't going to be easy coming here, but I think him doing that as captain and a leader, everybody else followed, and his goal, he deserves his goal from the half that he had. But I think Macclesfield, you can't really argue they don't deserve to be in front. They've not had a lot of chances, but you can't argue that Palace deserve to be in front either.
No, certainly. They had no shots on target. Crystal Palace had that opportunity, didn't they, from Pino, which was probably the closest, which he dragged wide. Should have done better.
Yeah, and if sat where we are, we can see both dugouts. And if you're looking at both dugouts, the frustrated figure is Oliver Glasner. He's really frustrated with the way they performed there in the first half from Palace, but Roone seems very relaxed. It's almost like they've got a plan. They've stuck to the plan. It's gone to plan probably even more than he thought. So, but Oliver Glasner was not happy with Crystal Palace in the first half, and the subs are going through a vigorous warm up here. So I'm guessing something's going to have to change.
Yeah, he wasn't happy, was he, with the times they kept him getting caught offside as well. Macclesfield, had a really tight back line. Loads of times they were looking for that long ball down the right hand side and trying to send in Devaney, but flagged up.
Yeah, it looked like it's something that they've highlighted, that they'll be able to get him behind via that diagonal, and they've been doing so well to work that angle. They hit the diagonal pass, and for it to all the work to be undone by being offside is amateur. Almost it's poor, and I think that's why first time was okay, second time, third time, fourth time, I think, like you say, Oliver Glasner could have made the run himself. He's right in front of Devaney, so he wanted a good place to be accepting that.
Wonder if we might see Will Hughes coming on at half-time. He hasn't got any trousers on, he's just got shorts on. He's just gone off down the tunnel as well as the Crystal Palace substitutes follow him down. But that dressing room right now, Joe, how much would you love to be in there?
Oh, unbelievable. These are the games you play football for. It's a massive opportunity. Like you say, Paul Dawson, we talked about exposure in the first before the game. This puts you on the map. It does. That performance there from Paul Dawson, like you say, as a captain leader, has been brilliant, and Macclesfield have been brilliant. We said early on in the game that they limited Crystal Palace a little. Every time they was trying to get in behind, they were offside. The back four was compact. Crystal Palace with their back three was trying to put their wing backs on the back line to try and get high, and Macclesfield dealt with it really well. It's like you say, it looks like they've studied Crystal Palace and come up with a plan, and the plan come off in the first half.
And this is without as well top goal scorer Danny Ellett, who's on the substitutes bench as well. So if it comes to it, they can bring on their top goal scorer hopefully.
Well, yeah, exactly. You've got goals on the bench. Danny Ellett scored goals at the levels that he's been at for years. He's a goal scorer, and he only needs one chance. So if he comes on and gets a chance, they're in big trouble, Crystal Palace now. The next goal is massive. I think Macclesfield get it. It's then, wow, we're almost one foot in the next round. But I think if Crystal Palace then get that next goal, it's how did Mac react? Did he go under and then concede another one, or did he reset and compose themselves and make a game of it?
I was here for the AFC Tottenham game, which was 6-3, which was just bedlam, really. But Macclesfield strikes me, they're so tight defensively today. And, that was against a team in their own league in the FA Cup first round. And they've obviously worked incredibly hard to kind of, to tighten up for this one. Yeah,
you can tell they've studied it. And I think looking at Crystal Palace, they almost look like a team that's not won in 8. And looking at John Rooney, the way he's set up there, he's probably looked at them 8 games and seen different types of ways to stop Palace, and he's took a little bit from each game probably that they've obviously not scored in or not won, and you can tell they just can't get in behind. Every time they do try and get in behind, they're offside. Anything that's physical, Menyasi and Sam Heathcote have been brilliant aerially. They've won everything, but not only that, Paul Dawson and Edmondson have landed on everything second phase. They've not been pretty on the ball, Macclesfield, but they've been there or thereabouts when things land, and it's not going to be an easy game, this, for Palace. And if they didn't know that before the game, they certainly know that now.
Your tweets, welcome at BBC RM Sport. Dave says Macclesfield limbs. Yeah, there's plenty of that going on when Paul Dawson's header nestled into the bottom corner of Walter Benitez's goal. Jono, great half, lads. John as well says from clearing snow off the pitch midweek to scoring against the FA Cup holders. Class, yeah, that in reference to the Macclesfield players getting involved in having to clear the snow from the game against Radcliffe on Tuesday night to ensure that one went ahead. And they have made sure as well that today's one goes ahead as well. So Macclesfield FC 1, Crystal Palace 0 at the break. They're approaching the end of the first half in League One. Stockport County and Huddersfield Town with Anthony Waring.
Yeah, it's less than 5 minutes to go in this first period. It's still Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0, but it's all been Stockport in this first half. They've had numerous chances and lots of shots blocked. Jaden Fevri's had a running shot from the right hand side, gone wide. Carl Wotton's had a header from another Ben Osborne cross, saved by the goalkeeper. Countless free kicks in and around the penalty area, countless corners. Been a great performance from Stockport in this first half, but nothing to show for it. It's Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0.
Anything changes, back to Anthony Waring at Edgeley Park. So, half-time then in the FA Cup. Cheltenham 0, Leicester City 2. Sunderland lead Everton by a goal to 0. Wolves 3-1 up against Shrewsbury. And do we have an upset on the cards at Moss Rose, where it's Macclesfield FC 1, Crystal Palace 0.
The Joe McGrath Breakfast Show. Do you know of any stories of people who do that? So obviously we go out to Spain, etc. Do people like to come to Manchester and experience?
Yeah. So in our Extreme Day Trip group on Facebook, I think there's about 150,000 people on there now. You do get the odd person saying, I'm coming to Manchester. It's mostly us trying to escape.
Yes. Do you recommend anything apart from bringing an umbrella?
It's a great city for a day trip, and you can definitely do it in a day and then go back to wherever, you've flown in from. What a great city to visit.
The Joe McGrath Breakfast Show.
Weekdays from 6.
Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Manchester. Total Sport.
BBC Radio Manchester.
Macclesfield FC 1, Crystal Palace 0. The 6th tier club leading the FA Cup holders in your first Total Sport commentary today. To come, City against Exeter from 3 o'clock. But Wigan Athletic have already booked their spot in the FA Cup 4th round after a hard-fought 1-0 win against Preston last night. Total Sport's Josh Watton was at Deepdale. Here is how it happened.
Wigan Athletic get us underway. Ball back to Tickle. His left-footed cross floated diagonal downfield.
Yeah, pleased for our fans, pleased for the lads. Game plan worked a treat. I did enjoy it, of course, coming back to your old club and performing to the levels we did. Limiting them to very few chances, if any.
Left of the penalty area. Finds Costello. Pass one. Goes to ground. Dive given by the referee. Dario Costello slams the ground in frustration. His head is in his hands.
3 big chances. Should score more goals. Penalty, obviously, and then a couple of chances in the first half against a fantastic team who were flying high in the Championship. So why wouldn't you be pleased? And 3,500, nearly 4,000 of our fans behind that goal.
And now Callum Wright can break over the halfway line for Wigan. Space on the right to work with. Finds Bertoni, right at the penalty area. Back on his left foot, hits it, deflects, into the back of the net. It creeps in at the near post. Harrison Bertoni on the left foot. fans go delirious behind the goals. I don't think anyone expected that to creep in, including Daniel Iverson, but Wigan Athletic have the lead that they deserve. Preston North End 0, Wigan Athletic 1.
Yeah, probably rank high for our fans. I don't think we've won here in Wigan Athletic won here in 20 years, so it's a good moment for our fans. It's a derby, it's a win. We can't get carried away. We're through to the next round. It's done and dusted now. We'll have a couple of days rest and recover, and we'll go again in another local derby on Saturday.
Left-footed ball into the penalty area, headed goalwards. Brilliant save from Sam Tickle. It's into the back of the net, but it will not count. Offside flag goes up. Sam Tickle with surely the last action of the game now. Takes a free kick. Referee puts his whistle to his lips, and Wigan Athletic stun higher division opposition once more in football's most famous competition.
Yeah, what a night for Wigan Athletic then, who are through into the FA Cup fourth round with that 1-0 win against Preston. Joining them as it stands, Macclesfield FC, who are leading the holders Crystal Palace by 1-0. Second half to come from here live at Moss Rose, where a few of the Macclesfield substitutes just going through their warm-ups in front of us. Some kids as well to the left-hand side, where that Paul Dawson goal went in, having a penalty shootout as well. I bet there'll be a few people recreating that Paul Dawson header as well. Then from 3 this afternoon, Manchester City FA Cup action take on League One Exeter. Bill Rice and Josh Watton are at the Etihad Stadium. Right, Bill, could be an upset on the cards here. What do you reckon about City Exeter? Could that be an upset this afternoon?
It will be the biggest upset I think possibly we've ever known in the FA Cup. Certainly one of them. Manchester City 56 places I think it is above Exeter in the Football League at present. I know that City have got injury problems, but if Exeter were to come here and win, that would be a huge surprise. I guess it's all dependent on what team Pep Guardiola picks this afternoon, how many he rests and rotates, with the Premier League title race still to come, a two-legged semi-final in the Carabao Cup against Newcastle, and of course the resumption of the Champions League. He has pretty much played the same team all through this testing period, through December, Christmas and New Year, and I think that is why they've started to pick up injuries. So whether he rests today, maybe that just opens the door slightly for Exeter, but I just can't see anything other than a City win.
Yeah, what about Antoine Semenyo then, Josh? Do you think we'll get a chance to a glimpse of him in blue this afternoon?
Be interesting, won't it? I think the City fans coming here today, that's a play that they'll want to watch this afternoon. He's exciting, he's lively, and this is a really good game. More or less just for him to introduce himself to Manchester City. He's a big signing, everybody's talking about it. We'll see if he gets to start from the off, but yeah, he's the one to watch this afternoon if he does play.
Who is back then, Bill? You sort of mentioned the kind of the rotation, the injuries possibly. Who could be back for City?
Well, the problem they've got is defensively. Obviously, they lost Josko Vardiol and Ruben Diaz to injuries recently. So midweek it was Abdakir Kusanov and Elaine playing at the back for Manchester City. Could well be them two at centre-back again. And I guess that's where this question mark comes about whether City will make a bid to sign Mark Gay in the transfer window in January. Should be enough to get them through this afternoon, whoever they play. But if they're going to chase down Arsenal at the top and compete for the Champions League, they might need some defensive reinforcements.
So City against Exeter to come. Jim Whitley as well, part of your Total Sport commentary team. The players out here, second half imminent. Macclesfield leading Palace. Half-time at Stockport, though Anthony Waring.
Yeah, we've reached the half-time mark. It's goalless and mixed emotions, I believe, for both Stockport County supporters and coaching staff in that first half, because they've seen their side well on top. They've created countless good opportunities. Wootton with a couple, Fevrier and Osborne have all been good. Oliver Norwood's been his usual excellent self in midfield, but they've nothing to show for it, despite the fact they've had all the momentum of that first half. It's goalless here at the break. Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0.
Big clash then in League One. Huge momentous day here at Moss Rose for Crystal Palace and Macclesfield FC. Macclesfield leading Palace 1-0, and a couple of changes by Oliver Glasner at the start of this second half, and bringing on the experienced of Will Hughes has come on, and he has replaced Rodney in the midfield. So Caden Rodney got the first 45 minutes, but now the experienced Hughes back alongside Adam Wharton. Brennan Johnson on as well for Joel Drake's Thomas. So we mentioned looking at those changes on the bench, and two incredibly experienced players being brought on then by Oliver Glasner as Palace look to get back into this. They They are not messing around in this second 45 minutes. Oliver Glasner spoke about how important it was to defend their title, and they're not doing so at the moment. But Johnson on, Will Hughes on, as we moments away from second half here at Moss Rose. And of course, Total Sport, BBC Radio Manchester, BBC Sounds as well this afternoon, as referee Tim Robinson blows his whistle, and we are underway then. What is this 45 minutes plus maybe extra time and penalties have in store then for Macclesfield FC, because they are leading the holders by 1-0. Captain Paul Dawson got it, a header towards the end of that first half, and it is Richards then who has the ball in the centre circle, and Mark Gahey for Crystal Palace. So let's run you through then the teams at the start of this second 45 minutes. 2 changes for John Rooney's side, Macclesfield FC, after their 2-1 win against Radcliffe in the week. Josh Kay coming back from suspension in, so too as well Lewis Fensham, the right back. So Macclesfield are Durnley in goal, a back four: Fensham, Mayonesse, Heathcote and Lacey, Dawson, Edmondson, Kay, Bartley, Ricketts and Duffy as the ball slid into the box and needed Mayonesse sliding it behind for a Crystal Palace corner kick as they attack the left-hand side here at Moss Rose. Damani Mellor leading the line as well for Macclesfield FC's top goal scorer Danny Elliott on the substitute bench. He's got 15 goals in all competitions, has the Macclesfield FC number 10. We'll give you that rejig Palace side very shortly, but it is a corner kick then on that far right-hand side as Palace attack. Is going to be Wharton then whipping the ball into the box, left-footed into the opening minute of it. It's a clear header for Richards at the back post, and it's up in the air, and it's claimed by Max Durnley. It's the cheers of those Macclesfield FC fans behind that goal, which has got a covering of frost still remaining, as it has been a chilly afternoon here at Moss Rose. Then Durnley just collapsed on the ball at the moment, taking his time, so that gives us a chance to run through the Crystal Palace side then in this second half. Palace then in gold strips. They made 6 changes, Oliver Glasner. They made 2 more at half time. So let's bring you the updated team then from Palace. It's Benitez in goals, it's Convo, Richards and Gahey at the back. It's Devaney, Wharton and Hughes, who's on for Rodney. Sosa as the midfield 4. Pino alongside Johnson, who's replaced Drakes Thomas, and then it's Uche who leads the line up top in place of Jean-Philippe Mateta, who hasn't travelled from London due to some knee issues, not being rested on this Astro turf. Right then, Joe Bunny, what's going to happen here in this second 45 minutes?
Well, one thing for certain is he's changed that right hand side that getting got offside. He's brought Devaney inside into the middle now, and obviously brought the changes on. I think Will Hughes will bring a little bit of grit. His type of player that he is, he'll put himself about a bit, so he'll cause some problems for Macclesfield.
Macclesfield through Heathcote, sending the ball into the box. It's headed away though by Sosa. And Johnson then will come up against Buckley Ricketts. And Lacey gets the ball into the box. It's headed away by Richards, only so far as Josh Kay. One bounce, and he smacks it over the bar. Ambitious effort by Josh Kay, well wide in the end. But you've got to take your chances when they come.
Yeah, half a chance. Like I said, he put Brennan Johnson now on that side and Mitchell on this side to try and utilise them wing-backs getting higher and getting in behind and more familiar positions to them too.
Yeah, I should say as well, Tyreek Mitchell then has come on for JD Convo. So it is pretty much now, Joe, the strongest team that they could pick, Palace.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else that could come in that, like you say, would strengthen. I think they've realised now at half-time that they're in a game. But Macclesfield will have the bit between the teeth now, like you say, something to defend and one step in the next round.
Yeah, so Johnson, Hughes, Mitchell all on at half-time for Oliver Glasner's side, who's again is barking instructions, not happy with what he's seen, the Crystal Palace boss. It is 1-0 then to Macclesfield FC, 4 minutes played of this second half, and it's Will Hughes who fires the ball to Johnson, and he gets the ball again, does Will Hughes. He can't find Devaney, though. Sliding tackle comes in from Paul Dawson, who's really scrapping for every ball, and Duffy comes back and wins the challenge against Hughes midway inside the Macclesfield FC half. And it's that kind of mentality, isn't it, Joe, that if Macclesfield are to cause one of the greatest shocks in the competition's history, that they need in this second half. Yeah, they're going to have to throw the bodies on the line now and really dig in and get themselves over the line. It's going to be difficult at times. Crystal Palace are going to throw everything at it, and the quality they have of a Premier League side, they're probably going to have some chances. You have to ride your luck at times, but if you dig in and grit, you'll get yourself over the line. Crystal Palace have won their last 6 games against non-league opposition in the FA Cup. They're not doing so today, though, against the 6th tier side, Macclesfield FC. Their first time at this stage since the resurrection in 2020 under owner Rob Smethurst. Duffy and Mitchell challenging for the ball, and Mitchell hooks it clear for a throw into Macclesfield, just in line with that right-hand penalty box, which is Fensom to take into the feet of Duffy. And Mitchell, though, coming back and winning the ball off Duffy. It takes a bounce off the corner flag and, in fact, takes a final deflection off the Crystal Palace man, and a dangerous throw-in then for the home side. So Lewis Fensom to come across and take it. Paul Duffy just having a word with Tim Robinson on the edge of the penalty box. Josh Kay challenging with Tyreek Mitchell from his throw-in, which bounced back to the right-back from Macclesfield FC. And now it's Buckley Richards, 25 yards out from goal, tried to lay it down to Mellor, but it's cleared from Wharton. But then Richards could only blast it out of play on that right-hand side. And for a throw-in to Macclesfield. The last time a Macclesfield side reached the 4th round was in 2013-14, when Town were knocked out by Cardiff. And the throw-in flicked on down the line by Damani Mellor, who's leading the line well for Macclesfield. Now Buckley Richards, ball bounces him, left-hand edge of the box, slides it in to Josh Kay. Oh, it just takes a bounce and dribbles away from Josh Kay, and Tyreek Mitchell does well to slide in and dispossess for Crystal Palace, who've now got a chance to break. And Uche Heathcote, though, came in and put off the target man for Palace. And now the ball takes a bounce, and Walter Benitez is needed to come out the Crystal Palace goal and head it clear. Jacob Duffy, though, takes one bounce and fires it from 35 yards out. It's blocked by Gahey. It's all going on. It's 1-0 to Macclesfield FC. They're causing real problems for the defending champions. And Duffy tried to hook it down the corner on the left-hand side. And it is Edmondson who picks the ball up. Midway side, the Eagles half goes down as a challenge from Uche. And it'll be a free kick from a dangerous position. Midway inside the Crystal Palace half. Another opportunity to get those men into the box as Paul Dawson claps the effort from his Macclesfield FC players. And it is 1-0, the Silkmen lead.
It's all very messy from Crystal Palace trying to clear it in it, but it's due to the fact that Macclesfield are putting loads of pressure on him. Uche there, ball goes up to him on the halfway line. Sam Heathcote physical with him, he don't really like it, throws himself to the floor, wants a foul, and in frustration ends up tracking back and giving a free kick away in a dangerous position now for Macclesfield. It's where the goal came from in the first half.
Yeah, this one on the left-hand side, it's going to be James Edmondson with the delivery this time. It was Duffy to the head of Dawson that broke the deadlock at the end of the first half at Moss Rose. It's whipped in, it's a glue-driven effort. Might have been going for goal there, I think. Edmondson trying to catch up Benitez at his left-hand near post. Bit of an opportunity wasted. Maybe got a little bit carried away there, James Edmondson, Joe.
Yeah, just a really stupid decision, in my opinion. I think you've got the goal from there before, you're on the opposite side now. You've got a chance to put Crystal Palace under pressure and maybe nick another goal. And
Palace under pressure again. Here is Josh Kay, goes for a bouncing effort just inside the Crystal Palace box. The ball came long. He went for another snapshot. This one again quite wide and over the crossbar. But they look rattled, don't they?
They do, Palace. Yeah. Josh Kay again in behind. Like you say, you just hope that Macclesfield can keep these energy levels up to see them across the line. But Crystal Palace will have a spell.
37 minutes left of this third round tie. Macclesfield FC 1, Crystal Palace 0. Could this be one of the biggest upsets in this hallowed competition's history? As Palace have a throw-in on the right-hand side, Sosa to take it, who switched flanks this half with Tyreek Mitchell coming onto the left-hand side. And now Devaney and Johnson off the bench. Brennan Johnson, Palace's record sign-in. And it's Macclesfield who will win a throw-in coming off Devaney, and a throw-in in their left-back position, which Lewis Lacey will take. Turned 21 yesterday. What a birthday weekend this could be for the 21-year-old, as he launches the ball long, looking for Mellor, who's worked tirelessly, and he flicks it on, trying to get it to Buckley Richards. But Richards for Palace will clear it. But again, Palace haven't got hold of the ball like they did at the start of the first half, and instead it's Buckley Richards. Sliding tackle comes in from Palace's Richards in the centre circle, but Macclesfield will win the ball back, and all the way back now with Durnley, who launches it long, and Richards to Will Hughes now. Just inside the Palace half, the ball with Mark Gahey. and he lays it to the left-hand side. In front of Oliver Glasner goes Tyreek Mitchell, and now Palace trying to get the Chiefs get a foot on the ball, don't they, the champions?
Yeah, they just can't get in the rhythm at all, can they? Macclesfield providing a lot of pressure. They nicked it again.
Yeah, they nicked it again. Gahey giving the ball away almost. Edmondson was nipping in, but it could only spill so far as the Palace backline. And again, look at that challenging, look at that effort from Mella and from Edmondson. They're putting real pressure on Benitez and Gahey at the back, and Will Hughes is needed, and Wharton. And that's their first choice centre midfield partnership as well for Crystal Palace. Now those two are on the pitch, and Will Hughes came on at half-time. So it is their strongest 11, apart from Mateta, who's at home, having not travelled. He is watching his side from London, losing 1-0 here in Macclesfield. And Damani Mella challenging with Chris Richards, and Richards uncertain, has to right-footed pass out to Sosa just outside the penalty box. But Macclesfield, they'll come again here in this second half. They're really fired up 10 minutes into it. They know that it's Palace who've got all the pressure on them now, as Pino runs up against Fensom. A chance for the number 10 to take a look at the right back for Macclesfield, and Tyreek Mitchell fires the ball into the box, but it just comes off the sliding Heath, going out for a Palace corner kick down by the left-hand touchline. It's 1-0 to Mac.
Yeah, I don't think it's just due to a lack of quality from Crystal Palace. They just put under pure pressure from Macclesfield. They've been brilliant. Everything, every bounce, every second ball, they're there or thereabouts, and Crystal Palace don't know how to deal with it.
They've got for a corner kick, though, have the holders, and it's going to be whipped into the box, and the players up from the back, just Tyreek Mitchell, the only one outside the penalty box. Here it comes then, into the box. A couple of players go down under a challenge, and in fact it's been given against Devaney, challenging with Paul Dawson, and a free kick, and well defended again by Macclesfield.
Yeah, stay strong, stay together. Set pieces will be huge. They're a big side, Macclesfield, as well, so they defend things really well.
1-0 they lead. Wolves 4-1, Strand Larsen a hat-trick at home to Shrewsbury, so no upset going on there as we enter the second halves of all the early kickoffs in the FA Cup third round. Sunderland lead Everton 1-0, and Leicester 2-0 up at Cheltenham Town. Stockport and Huddersfield goalless in League One. We've got regular updates on Total Sports, where 11 minutes played of this second half, and it is 1-0 still to the Silkmen. Oliver Glasner again barking instructions, but it is Lewis Fensom who comes alongside the Crystal Palace manager to take a throw in on this right hand side then. In blazing sunshine at Moss Rose. Goes down looking for Mella. And Mella does really well to win another throw in as Macclesfield look to work further on down the line here. Don't forget, they're in the 6th tier of English football, are the Silkmen. Don't need to tell you, they're up against the holders of the FA Cup, and they're leading. And it's Wharton who nicks in just outside the Palace box. Uche and Pino exchange passes, but Macclesfield win the ball back just inside their own half, and Menese goes long looking for Duffy. He's challenging with Tyreek Mitchell down by the corner flag, and he will need Mark Gahey. He's got Damani Mella challenging him, and Mella wins the ball back. It falls to Duffy. Now Edmondson, right hand corner of the box, cries a shoot. Edmondson drills it straight at goalkeeper Walter Benitez. 1-0 Macclesfield.
Again, relentless pressure. They just ran it out of play against Crystal Palace. Just through the pressure from Macclesfield. It comes from Josh Kay. I think they're breaking out with Uche, and he backtracks. He runs all the way back. He gets a little touch on the ball. Sam Heathcote clears one down the channel, but as he's clearing it down the channel, Luke Duffy's always on his way. He's already on his way to go and take the ball off Tyreek Mitchell and get the ball back.
And Benitez just launched the ball straight out of play as well. So Palace having to do all the defending here at Moss Rose with 30 minutes left. 30 minutes played. Oh, got carried away there, didn't I, Joe? 30 minutes played of this second half. Oliver Glasner again revving them up. Palace shouldn't need revved up for this, should they?
Well, I say it's almost like they've been caught cold of it. But we've given a lot of praise to Paul Dawson today. But Damani Mella's been brilliant. Up there, it's a thankless task on his own, and he's against three dominant centre halves who play in the Premier League a lot. And he's done so well for such a small lad. Damani Mella, he's been a big target point, and he's caused them problems.
Yep, certainly is. And England international as well. And Mark Gahey at the back there too. And Paul Dawson wins a tackle under Devaney. So Macclesfield have a free kick midway inside their second half. They're back underway at Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0 in League One from 3 o'clock. Your next commentary comes from the FA Cup. Surely not an upset at the Etihad Stadium where Manchester City host Exeter City. But the way things are going so far in this competition, Wrexham winning against Forest last night, Wigan getting past Preston as well to book their place in the 4th round. And obviously the big one, Macclesfield 1, Crystal Palace 0. Durnley goes long then with his free kick, looking for Mellor. It's headed up and away though by Richards, but there's the skipper Dawson who sends it further forward, and they can't clear this time, can Crystal Palace? And now it's Mellor who goes down under the challenge. Hughes cries a penalty. Buckley Richards though is still scrapping. Mellor gets on his feet and has a left-footed effort, and again it falls to defensive. Oh my goodness me! Buckley Ricketts has sent Macclesfield FC 2-0 up against the FA Cup holders. Scenes of absolute delirium at Moss Rose. Captain Paul Dawson punches the air. There's fans in front of us on their feet. There's fans on that left-hand side where the Macclesfield players are celebrating, who have come down to the advertising hoardings and are hugging their heroes. Because Buckley Ricketts has scrapped one past Walter Benitez. It's 2-0. Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0.
It's an absolute mess from Crystal Palace again, but relentless pressure once again from Macclesfield, just putting them under pressure. They just don't know how to deal with it, and they've ended up trying to clear it 2, 3, 4 times. Tackle, Damani Mellor goes down for a potential penalty. They're all trying to clear it again, and Macclesfield are just relentless with it. They end up getting a shot off goal with Lewis Fenton, I think, and it was deflected wide, but was going out for a corner, and Bucket Richards just sticks his foot out and gets his foot out, and it completely sends the keeper the wrong way. He's already going out as it was going for a corner, and he's just wrong-footed him, and it's just trickled into the back of the net. 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. It was Buckley Ricketts. He just diverted it. There was no one marking him because everyone was involved really in that attempted clearances that they had just outside the 6-yard box, Crystal Palace. And as you say, it was Fenton who had that left-footed shot. He just took a deflection and it bounced to Ricketts, who just stuck a foot out, and they're 2-0 up. And now they could get a third. Josh Kay lays it to Buckley Ricketts outside the Crystal Palace box, but they will clear, which they have not done so far at all in this second half. 16 minutes played. Oliver Glasner made those changes and they haven't worked, Joe.
And looking at him on the side there, he's absolutely fuming. Macclesfield are having fun with it now. With Lacey does 2 Maradonas, gets brought down, and they're having fun with it now. Macclesfield and Crystal Palace are just all over the place.
You wouldn't know that they're in the Premier League. You wouldn't know that they're in the 6th tier, Macclesfield, would you, based on this?
You wouldn't know. The Macclesfield have been brilliant. They have, like you said, the relentless pressure that they've applied and the way they've stuck together as a team. I know we've called out a few individuals, but it's a full team performance. They've been brilliant.
And they have got then this free kick on the left-hand side. Another opportunity to whip the ball into the box for James Edmondson. And 2-0 they lead. 70 minutes played then of this second half. And it could be an absolutely massive afternoon here for Macclesfield FC. There is an FA Cup replica cardboard cutout way to the left-hand side being waved. And why not? They're heading into the 4th round as it stands. For now, though, half an hour left or just under to play. It's Edmondson with the left-footed ball into the box. Heads go up above Paul Dawson. Not cleared, though. It's fired in by Duffy from the edge of the penalty box. And again, Crystal Palace will try to clear their lines. Sosa lets the ball bounce right edge of the penalty box. They are so rattled, Palace. He just hoops the ball straight up into the air. They don't know what's hit them to the defending champions. So much commitment from Macclesfield FC, who are heading into the 4th round as it stands. Still plenty of time to go, but Palace haven't got anything really now that they can bring on off the bench. They've got Mitchell, Johnson and Hughes on. We have not seen Brennan Johnson at all in this second 45 minutes here at Moss Rose. We've seen plenty, though, of Damani Mellor and Josh Kay, who tried to win the ball for Macclesfield on the far right-hand side, and Palace have a throw-in, and it is going to be Adam Wharton. He looks for his options, and he sends it to Pino, who comes across the halfway line. Now it's Tyreek Mitchell up against Lewis Fenton. Mitchell slides it into Uche, into the penalty box. Uche fires left on goal. It's wide of the right-hand post. But a first opportunity of the second half for Crystal Palace, and it drifted. It was low. It was drilled wide of Durnley's goal. 2-0 Macclesfield.
Yeah, like I say, they're going to have to ride the luck at times. They've got that second goal cushion now, so it won't be too bad, but they've been let off there, to be fair. Uche fires one just across the face of goal and should do better, really, for a player of his quality, but they're going to have to ride the luck at times, Macclesfield, but they don't want to be doing that too many times.
117 places separate these two sides. And you can hear what this means to these 5,300 fans inside Moss Rose. It is a sellout. There were queues of over 2,000 around the ground trying to pick up tickets when these tickets went on sale last month. This is what it means to a club that is based on community. And Uche is in an offside position, and it'll be a Macclesfield free kick. John Rooney applauds again his backline, Joe, because they have been tight all game.
Brilliant. Again, one long ball. It's almost like they're just expecting it to stay high, and Crystal Palace have just not been able to stay on side all game. I just don't understand why, or where they've realised that they don't need to go long all the time because they keep getting caught out. They just keep doing the same pass and getting caught offside all the time. And keeper's gone down here now. I think this is a bit of a tactical thing to try and kill Palace's momentum a little bit here, but brilliant.
Yeah, Max Sterney's just receiving some treatment. The Macclesfield fans, to a man, woman and child, all on our feet in front of us as the players get some water on board. You can see Paul Dawson chatting to Franny Jeffers, the assistant. A Macclesfield flag. Silkman cries echoing around Moss Rose. Just look at these Palace players though, Joe. They're not really talking to each other. No one's whipping them up.
No,
the body language is poor.
It's very poor. It's almost like they've been caught out. They just like they don't have no ideas though. The thing is, anything they're trying, Mac are just counteracting and just pressing them. But it's just from a want though. Like you say, the attitude of the Crystal Palace players, they're walking around. They're almost like feel that they shouldn't be pressed when they get a ball, and they should get a little bit of time and feel a little bit respected. But Mac give them no respect at all. They respected them in the way that they're a quality side, but they're just getting in their faces and not giving them time to breathe.
So just before Durnley goes for this free kick, then let's check in at Edgeley Park. Stockport Huddersfield with Anthony Waring.
Well, it's still goalless. Stockport 0, Huddersfield Town 0, but the second half has started much the way in which the first half ended. It's all Stockport forcing corners, forcing free kicks in and around the box. Lots of play inside the Huddersfield half, creating half opportunities, but still, as yet, nothing to show for it. We've played 7.5 minutes of the second half. It's Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0.
24 minutes left here at Moss Rose, where it's Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0. Palace chairman Steve Parish in the crowd here watching on. He's definitely not going to be too happy with what he's seeing from his sides. The defending champions, remember what an afternoon they had in May at Wembley Stadium, beating Manchester City 1-0. But it's a far different occasion today as Brennan Johnson, as Pino sends it looking for Johnson. Goalkeeper Max Durnley, commitment, charges out of his goal there. Full on 35 yards to clear it downfield. And now Crystal Palace will have the ball at the back. Will Hughes playing it with Mark Gahey and squares it to Chris Richards, who goes down the touchline now, and Sosa. And Crystal Palace need to get a goal back quickly here if they're to avoid a huge humiliation in the third round. It's Gahey, lays it into the feet of Pino, tried to turn it around the corner to Will Hughes, but guess who? Dawson intercepts, battles well, lays it to Heathcote, who lofts it long, and Marnie Mellor goes down under the challenge and wins it back from Duffy. And now Damani Mellor powering forward, right hand edge of the box, lays it infield to Edmondson. He can't quite find Duffy though, but Dawson will pick the ball up. He's got two players around him though from Palace, and it's Brennan Johnson who wins it. And now it's Uche driving forward inside the Macclesfield FC half. Right-footed, sprays it to the right-hand edge of the penalty box. Danger this for Macclesfield. It's Johnson. Back to Devaney, steps inside. Devaney, edge of the penalty area, fires in net on goal. There is the big forehead of Heathcote, who high-fives centre-back partner Menese, and it's out for throwing on the far right-hand side, which Palace take really quickly. Time running out for them. Wharton lofts the ball into the box, header, but it's offside position. The ball ends up in the net, but offside against Uche, and it is still Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0, Joe Bunny.
Yeah, it's obviously something they've highlighted, Macclesfield, because the line that they keep and they stay strong with it. They've been brave. Every time Crystal Palace put a cross into the box, it seems to be they're just offside. And it's obviously something Macclesfield have worked on holding that back four line and staying strong and being brave, which is a difficult thing to do against a Premier League side, especially when you're leading the game now. You almost tend to get a little bit deeper to protect your goal. But they've been so brave, throwing bodies on the line, staying high, staying brave, and they've got some experienced lads in there rolling Menese there, trying to keep them going. They've got 25-30 minutes left.
Yeah, Just under 25 minutes. It's Total Sport, BBC Radio Manchester, BBC Sounds, Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0. Dawson and Buckley Ricketts with the goals as Mark Gay slips on the ball and Buckley Ricketts seizes on it, left-hand edge of the box. Here we go, Buckley Ricketts does a little flick, tries to go past Richards, but Carver wins his side. A corner kick. Perhaps should have done a bit better, but it is a corner to Mac Joe.
Yeah, he had him 1v1, didn't he? And he tried to move him around and try and do a little bit of the skill inside the box. Tried to create half a yard to get a shot away, but he does well. Defends well, Richards, to be fair to him. But Matt Gay again, like, they're just so rattled, this Crystal Palace side. They almost like ran out of ideas and don't know what to do.
So many internationals on this pitch for Palace as well. Obviously England variety. Mark Gahey and Adam Wharton as well. And it is the Silkmen who have got a corner kick from that left-hand side. It's a deep in-swinger. Benitez does well, the Palace goalkeeper, to come out there and claim it. And he looks for his launch to get them off on a quick counter-attack, but they can't because the Macclesfield players get back in shape really well. 20 minutes left then. Total Sport 2-0. Macclesfield FC leads the holders Crystal Palace. It's Richards on the halfway line. Tries to loft the ball to Mitchell. It's a poor one though. It's intercepted by Buckley Ricketts, who is everywhere at the moment, and he lofts the ball forward. Mark Gahey manages to head it square to his centre-back partner Richards, but Mellor was lurking, and it could have been a one-on-one had the ball squirmed free for Damani Mellor. Remember, top goal scorer Danny Elliott on the bench, and a poor ball into the box from Tyreek Mitchell. Kind of summing up, really, Crystal Palace's approach to this one with 20 minutes left. So he had options to try and whip it in. Instead, it just dribbled lamely into the hands of Max Durnley, clad all in pink in front of those stood-up Macclesfield FC fans, away to the left-hand side here at Moss Rose.
Sometimes on this, in the FA Cup, we all have a cup upset, but if you looked at this game, it's not an upset. Mac deserve everything they've got from this game. The only reason it's an upset is because the level of what Crystal Palace are at and what Macclesfield are at. But just on this game alone, they deserve everything they've got, Mac. Crystal Palace don't deserve anything from the game, and if anything, Mac going to the next round, deservingly so.
Crystal Palace had to wait for 120 years before they got their hands on the famous trophy. But it's slipping away from them at the moment, being knocked out at the first opportunity by Macclesfield FC, who would be into the fourth round for the first time since their resurrection in 2020 under owner Rob Smethurst and Robbie Savage. As Pino tries to bring the ball down just inside the penalty box from a cross into the box, and Macclesfield will clear it out for throwing in line with the left-hand side, which Tyreek Mitchell will come across to take. 12 of the last 13 holders of this trophy have progressed from the third round. The only ones that haven't, Arsenal in 17-18, and potentially Crystal Palace here in 2026. Final effort from Wharton. Oh, that's the first great save by Max Durnley. The ball bobbled into the penalty area. It was Wharton who fired it first time left-footed, and it needed a smart save from the Macclesfield goalkeeper down to his right-hand side to palm it away for a corner. 2-0.
Yeah, first proper chance for Palace in the half. Good strike from Wharton, good save from Max. They just need to stay solid, compact. Like you say, you just don't want to concede a goal now within the next couple of minutes.
18 minutes left then of this FA Cup third round tie. It's a corner kick to Crystal Palace. It's headed away though firmly by Lewis Fensom. Edge of the penalty box, Tyreek Mitchell drives in an effort straight to Max Durnley. He ain't missing those. He claims it to the cheers of the Macclesfield FC fans, and they stay 2-0 up. And that was, what do we have there? 18 minutes left. So that's the first opportunity on goal from Crystal Palace. That
crazy, and it was a team effort from distance. Happily, Max Durnley will deal with them all day.
This one with Crystal Palace on the edge of their penalty box as they look to get a goal back in this one. And Sam Heathcott, adjudged to have fouled his fellow number 12, Chris Uche, in place of Jean-Philippe Mateta, who hasn't travelled with Crystal Palace due to knee issues. Oliver Glasner barking instructions, get the ball, get it quick on that right hand side, he's saying, but it's Will Hughes in the centre circle and Adam Wharton now with Mark Gahey. The England teammates exchanging passes. It's Gahey 40 yards out, lays it to the left hand side, and Pino, who looks up, tries to clip the ball into the box. It's calmly headed away there by Heathcote. He's looking for Uche up there, and Dawson challenging as the ball bounces down inside the Macclesfield FC half. And it is with Will Hughes and now Mark Gahey again as Palace look to bring the ball forward. This one through Pino again, ball into the box, again headed clear by Macclesfield FC, this time by Mayanese, and all the players barring Walter Benitez inside this Macclesfield FC half. And they will just give the ball away. Crystal Palace tried to attempt a through ball for Pino, but instead it runs all the way through to Max Durnley. 2-0 Macclesfield leads.
Yeah, just about the dark arts now for Macclesfield. Slow the game down, take the sting out of Palace attacks whenever they can, walk to throw-ins, walk to corners, walk to everything else, and just try and kill the clock a little bit. We forget that this Macclesfield team are a part-time side. They only train on a Tuesday and Thursday morning, and this Premier League side who train every day, this is a key part of the game now for the last 15, maybe added 20 minutes, where the fitness levels will kick in.
Brennan Johnson challenging against Lewis Lacey by the right-hand corner flag as Palace attack. Tries to lay it back to Sosa, but Ricketts does really well to come back and clear it. As the goal scorer, the second goal scorer for Macclesfield. The first was Paul Dawson. In fact, Macclesfield, the first non-league team to score twice in this competition against a Premier League side since Kettering Town against Fulham in January 2009, and the first against the holders since Runcorn against Preston in 1939. So these are the kind of stats that we're dealing with here on the historical afternoon for Macclesfield FC as Mark Gahey goes into the book for a challenge on Damani Mella just inside the Macclesfield FC half. And 15 minutes left of this one as Paul Dawson receives a water bottle from John Rooney just to get that into his lungs. So too Luke Duffy as well. More cries of Silkmen echoing around Moss Rose, and they will take their time with this free kick. Macclesfield leads 2-0 against the holders. Leicester lead 2-0 at Cheltenham. Sunderland 1-0 up against Everton, and Wolves comfortable 4-1 against Shrewsbury. 0-0 in League One between Stockport and Huddersfield. As the ball launched long from that free kick by Heathcote, and Paul Dawson challenging for it, gets a push in the back, but he is adjudged to have given away a free kick, and Dawson will go down, so it'll be a free kick to Macclesfield midway inside the Palace half. Let's check in at Edgeley Park with Anthony Waring.
Well, we've played 17 and a half minutes of this second half. It's still goalless, and it's still all Stockport coming forward. But again, they've not really made Lee Nichols work as yet inside the Huddersfield goal. They're seeing plenty of ball in and around the penalty area, and every time they go to create an opportunity, there's some Huddersfield last-ditch defending on display. Dave Challen will be pleased with the performance, but not so pleased his side is not in front. Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0.
2-0 here, Macclesfield FC lead. A couple of subs about to come on for the Silkmen. In fact, 3 of them very shortly. Matheson, Dos Santos and Cameron Borthwick-Jackson. For now, though, it's a free kick which is taken just in front of us here at Moss Rose, midway inside the Crystal Palace half. Dawson and Buckley Ricketts with those goals. The holders crashing out at the first opportunity on what will be a history-making afternoon for Macclesfield FC. They've got then this free kick, which Duffy will take it. He got the assist for that Dawson header, which broke the deadlocks just towards the end of the first half. And Duffy, this one right to left. Mayanese went up, just eluded him. And it's with, though, Macclesfield keep the ball with Lacey, who launches it into the box. And Mayanese challenging with Richards. And Macclesfield will give away a free kick just outside the Crystal Palace half on Ben Casey. And gives us time to make the changes very shortly. And in fact, the referee Tim Robinson saying that the changes can be made now. What a time to come on, though, for these changes, Joe. 2-0 up against the holders.
Yeah, just need some fresh legs, I think. Like I said before, these lads are part-time, and this is the time of the game. They put a right shift in. They need some fresh legs on the pitch now just to try and see the game out.
So the first of those changes then will be Luke Duffy, who got that assist for the first goal, receiving a standing ovation, and he will be replaced by Luke Matheson. Damani Mella as well coming off, and so too Josh Kay for Carlos Santos and Cameron Borthwick-Jackson. Great shifts put in by those 3 players, Joe.
Yeah, brilliant. They gave everything, and like you say, you always like to feel you can trust your bench, and if you go out there and give absolutely everything, and you can always bring changes on to freshen it up. So these lads will be coming on full of energy, hopefully continue the pressing and the relentless pressing, and putting Crystal Palace under pressure on that they've done before.
Wayne Rooney watching on in the stands here at Moss Rose as his little brother close to guide in Macclesfield to a little bit of history. In fact, I think John said that if they were to win this, it'll be better than Wayne lifting the FA Cup with Manchester United.
I'm sure Wayne had a lot to say about that.
But as it stands, it's going to happen. Just over 10 minutes left here at Moss Rose. Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0 to follow Manchester City against Exeter City. But there will not be a bigger upset than this on the FA Cup third round weekend. Here it's Total Sports, BBC Radio Manchester, BBC Sounds. As Damani Mello, in fact, is on the pitch, and he sends it long. It's Buckley Ricketts as well on the edge-hand side of the box. He's got Dos Santos ahead of him, has Buckley Ricketts, and it goes out for a corner kick to the Silkmen. Well, the referee's given a corner kick, but the ball was played. A bit of time waste. Well, no, why is Wharton time wasted there? I think he thought it was a goal kick, didn't he? Did Adam Wharton?
Adam Wharton let it go out of play there, thinking it was a goal kick, and he's put his side under pressure here and given another corner. But just before that, Damani Mellor again getting hold of the ball, spinning the two centre halves, playing him in. It was a 3v1 at one stage until Crystal Palace recovered, but he's been brilliant, Damani Mellor.
Then corner kick then. It's Edmondson the player to go off. Ball into the box. It's from Buckley Ricketts. And all the way now back with Luke Matheson, one of the substitutes. He sends the ball forwards. We enter the final 10 minutes then here at Moss Rose. The magic of the FA Cup well and truly alive in Macclesfield. This club which has risen from the ashes in 2020. And what a day. They're on the map as it is anyway, it being on radio, it being on TV as well. Millions watching, hundreds of thousands listening to. I mean, what an afternoon as well for those here in the ground. 5,300 will be able to say, I was here. But will they be here for Macclesfield to get through? Or we got a late sting in the tail as the ball slid through by Richards to Sosa into the box. The ball across it, all the way. Mitchell at the back post for Palace. He's driven his effort wide. Well wide in the end of the right-hand box. And Sosa, in fact, manages to pick it up on that right-hand penalty area. He clipped the ball into the box, and Paul Dawson again headed it clear, and he's waving his backline just to get up. What have they got left in the tank, Macclesfield, here? They've got a 2-goal cushion, which helps as we're into the final 9 minutes of this one. It's Will Hughes on the ball, on the hot centre circle now with the American Richards, and lays it to the left-hand side, and Mark Gahey and Pino, the former Villarreal man, the Spanish international. Wonder what he's thinking playing here at Moss Rose. Sosa whips the ball into the box. It's cleared though by the sliding Mayanese, and Crystal Palace will go again. We're going to have this for the next 8 minutes of normal time, as it's Pino again, left-hand edge of the box. He's got Matheson up against him and Fenton. It's Mitchell, ball whipped in. Johnson came running to the near post. It's over his head though, and Sosa will collect it by the right-hand touchline. And Will Hughes now looking for his options. It's back to Wharton and further back to Chris Richards now. 2-0 Macclesfield FC lead. Tyreek Mitchell gets the ball by the left-hand edge of the penalty box. Pino with the ball into the box. Uche heads it wide of goal. 5 or 6 yards wide in the end. And Macclesfield fans breathe a sigh of relief. You still lead 2-0.
Yeah, last 10 minutes of the game now, they've just got to stick together. They're going to have a lot of pressure from Crystal Palace now, because if they're going to get something from the game, they're going to have to take some risk. But they've just got to stick together, ride the wave, and see themselves over the line.
So 117 places then between these two sides. This, the biggest shock surely in FA Cup history. No 6th tier side has ever beaten one from the top flight since the FA Cup started in 1871. So a bit of history being made here in the 150 years of it in the FA Cup.
They've been waiting for that.
Two
they
balls
kept
on
holding
the
the ball until he got another ball just to waste a little bit more time.
Fans behind having a bit of fun there. There's 2 balls on the pitch. They throw it in, and Max Sternley will take all the time just to recycle it and go again with this goal kick then, approaching the final 7 minutes of Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0. The ball launched long into the sunshine here at Moss Rose, and Paul Dawson goes for a challenge with Jeremy Pino, and now it's Matheson battling with Mitchell. He lays it back, does the Macclesfield right back to Heathcote, who launches it long out play. So Palace then, the holders, will get a throw in their left back position. Chris Richards has it inside the penalty box, and he will bring it forward now. It's about these calm, these cool heads. What's left for Macclesfield FC? Can they make it what would look like and has been really, Joe, fairly comfortable, really?
Comfortable, yeah. They've done everything that they probably planned to do, but they probably didn't expect this performance from Palace, I mean, the performance from Palace has come from how relentless Macclesfield have been. It's not been just from poor Crystal Palace. Macclesfield have been brilliant, and they've nullified everything that Crystal Palace had and frustrated them and limited to very little, and took the chances when they've come.
Sosa dancing from the right-hand touchline, lays it to Richards, but Palace can't find a way through as we approach the final 6 minutes of normal time. Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0. It is Pino who clips the ball forward, looking for the run of Casey into the penalty area, but Menessa will come across and be big and be strong and win his side a free kick. Great defending from the Macclesfield FC man, and he receives a clap on the back by captain Paul Dawson and also centre-back pairing Sam Heathcote. Great commitment, Joe.
Brilliant rolling. I've no rolling from playing with him at Grimsby. He's a top professional, loads of experience, really good lad, and the lads will learn a lot from him here, but that just shows up why he's been brought in. His experience is superb.
Listen to that. Silkmen, they cry. Some flags go up around us. What a moment for Macclesfield FC if they can keep this to 2-0. Wolves have gone 5-1 up against Shrewsbury. The holders here at Moss Row, 7 minutes away from being dumped out by the 6th tier side. I mean, you almost couldn't write it, could you? But it's looking like that way here, and it will be a sensational afternoon for the Silkmen. Paul Dawson, hands on his hips, being marked by Adam Wharton. Luke Matheson has the ball with his throw in then. Midway inside the half of Macclesfield FC, and it's Matheson who goes long with it, looking for Damani Mellor and Mark Gahey. It falls to Chris Richards, who lays it to Tyreek Mitchell, and good chasing again by Damani Mellor as we enter the final 5 minutes here. Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 0. Mark Gahey has the ball back, now on the edge of the penalty box, and it's Chris Richards who will bring the ball forwards. Afro on his head, he lays it to Sosa with the red boots, darts inside from the right-hand touchline and sprays it to Mark Gahey. But again, they're just playing it around the back here, Crystal Palace, are they? Let's see what Macclesfield FC can do. 4 minutes left of this one. The holders exiting the cup at the earliest opportunity. It's Oche who's got the ball, battling with Matheson and Paul Dawson. Back to goal though. Mark Gahey, 35 yards out, clips the ball into the box. That will go well above the head of Borthwick Jackson, because it's offside again for Crystal Palace. This one, Casey up against it, and again it's well defended by Macclesfield. 2-0.
Yeah, brave again from Macclesfield as Gahey cuts in on his right foot just to cross that ball in. They're brave, they stay high, stay on the edge of the 18-yard box and allow them to run offside. Brilliant from Mac.
So we wait for this free kick to be taken. Let's get the Manchester City team news against Exeter with Josh Watton.
6 changes made by Pep Guardiola following the 1-1 draw with Brighton. It's a debut for Antoine Semenyo. Also coming in, Ryan McAdoo, Rodri, Ryan Cherkit, Rico Lewis and James Trafford. Dropping out in goal, Gianluigi Donnarumma, Mateus Nunes, Nico Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden and Jeremy Doku.
So Manchester City against Exeter City, a commentary to come from 3 o'clock, but we enter the final 2.5 minutes here on Total Sport BBC Sounds as well. And what an afternoon. It's 2-0 to the non-league side in the 6th tier of English football against the FA Cup holders. The last holders to be knocked out were Wolves, all the way back against a non-league side in 1909, which was against Crystal Palace. Richards on the ball. Will Hughes now midway inside the Silkman half, but again Silkmen holding their line really nicely here. 2.5 minutes left of this one. It's Sosa on that right-hand touchline. He cuts in field. Space for him to run into. Edge of the penalty box is Wharton. There's 3 Mac players around him, though. One of them's Fenton. Ball goes up into the air, and there's Dawson, who's got rid of his bandage round his head as he headed away. And a free kick given against Damani Mellor right on the edge of the penalty box here. Big opportunity for Palace with just over 2 minutes left, Joe.
Yeah, if they're going to get anything from this tie, they need to make this count. Difficult one there for Damani Mellor. He didn't see Gage behind him, and I think he's gone to clear the ball and caught him right on the edge of the box. But they've been solid, Macclesfield. Like I say, they ride the luck at times, and hopefully this is one of the times where they ride the luck and nothing comes of it. But if Palace wants something from this game, this has to go in.
Yeah, certainly does. Into the final 2 minutes of normal time. It's a free kick on the edge of the box. It's Sosa over it, so to Pino, and there's a draft excluder for Macclesfield FC behind a 6-man wall, 7 men in fact I think, they're going to be blocking everything as the Macclesfield FC fans behind the goal wave and get their phones out, their torchlights out as well, to put off Pino or Sosa, who are about to take it. 2-0 Macclesfield FC lead. A big moment this. The holder's been dumped out as it stands against the six-tier side. Pino strokes it. Oh, he scores! Does Jeremy Pino? There's finally some class from Crystal Palace. It's a clip free kick into the top right-hand corner of the goal, but Palace have only got a minute left of this one. Macclesfield FC 2, Crystal Palace 1.
Oh, an unbelievable free kick from Pino. The first bit of quality we've seen from Crystal Palace, to be honest, and it's took 90 minutes for him to show a little bit of Premier League class, but it might be too little too late, but they've given themselves a lifeline here now, Palace. They've got whatever gets added on to try and get themselves something from the game.
Oliver Glasner saying 6 minutes. He's making the hand signals of 6 minutes to his backline there. The fourth official about to appear, probably with that exact number. So there's still plenty of time. Let's get the Bolton against Peterborough team news with Jack Dearden.
3 changes for the Wanderers. Afternoon, Alex. Afternoon, folks. 2-2, Conway and Gale, the 3 that start. Sissoko, Taylor and Christie, the 3 that drop out. No Sharman Law on the bench either. He's ill. So the young goalkeeper takes his place, Nathan Broom.
And let's quickly check in at Stockport Huddersfield in League One with Anthony Waring.
Well, it's still goalless. We've still got 15 minutes left to play, though. As Stockport with another corner on their left-hand side. It's all been happening here. Stockport have had more chances. Will Alves has gone close as well for the visitors. Osborne's had a shot which was saved. Josh Stokes has come on to make his debut after being brought in this week on loan from Bristol City. And a few of the Huddersfield bench, incidentally, have got involved with something they shouldn't do with the Stockport crowd. Thankfully, that's all died down. But we're still awaiting the first goal. Stockport 0, Huddersfield 0.
2-1 Macclesfield FC lead. The holders Crystal Palace into 5.5 minutes left of this one. Pino's goal 30 seconds ago has made it slightly nervy here at Moss Rose as Macclesfield again having to defend on the edge of their penalty box. Is there more quality from Palace? It's Casey, it's Will Hughes, edge of the box, back to Pino. Great tackle though comes in from Luke Matheson, and Gahey will get the ball back though midway inside the Silkmen's half, and it's Pino. The good things from Palace's perspective coming from their number 10 Mitchell. Ball into the box. There's no heads, and Cameron Borthwick-Jackson is needed at the back stick just to flick it away for a throw-in on that far side, which Sosa will go across to take. And as we thought, Joe Bunny, it is going to be nervy moments here.
Yeah, relentless now from Palace. They can't get out Macclesfield. They've just got to stay strong and win the headers, stay compact, block shots and try and get themselves up the pitch as soon as they can.
Throw in then to be taken. It'll be long from Chris Richards on that right-hand touchline. And the referee just asking for a ball, or just ask Walter Benitez just to put a ball out of play all the way back in the Crystal Palace's goal. But it is going to be then full-time. Wolves 6, Shrewsbury 1, so Wolves safely through, Palace not so. Richards, ball into the box, headed clear by Roland Mayanese, and now a break could be on for James Edmondson, who charges across the halfway line. He's got he comes back and manages to clear. In fact, it's Convo who comes back and lays it to his goalkeeper Benitez, who goes long looking for Uche. And there is Mark Gahey now with Will Hughes, who tries to slide past Dos Santos. But again, Palace can't do anything with it, and Mayanese just absolutely wallops it clear as we enter the final 3.5 minutes of this one. The biggest upset in the FA Cup history. No sixth-tier side, remember, has ever beaten one from the top flight since the competition started in 1871. Is this Macclesfield FC's day to write their name in the history books? It's Pino. Mark Gahey now, left-hand side of the penalty box, tries to slide it in. 2 Macclesfield players get in the way. One of them is captain Paul Dawson, who's battling with the England international, and it's cleared and hooked away firmly by James Edmondson. And John Rooney now starting to look a little bit agitated on that touchline. And it's Palace again. 3 minutes now. It's just a case of ticking the clock down, which Macclesfield would do with Danny Whitehead about to come on. Dawson just misses clearing that ball which came into the box, and it's picked up by Will Hughes, who launches it looking for that left-hand runner, and Melon Mayanese clears it as well. The ball came into the box.
They've got to get out Macclesfield. They've got to squeeze now. This is an opportunity to get out and get away from their goal.
Starting to tell though, starting to toll these legs, these brains, these bodies for Macclesfield FC as Whitehead awaits. It's Pino now. dummies. Ball comes into the box now. Should be headed clear by Heathcote. It is. Wharton tried to stab it in. There was no runners coming through though, and it's cleared midway inside the penalty box. Yeah, John Rooney. That's exactly what Rooney is saying. He's telling his side just to lose the last reserves of energy. Damani Mello does so and charges the ball down and wins his side a throw-in. And he will receive a standing ovation as Danny Whitehead will come on as we enter the final 2 minutes of the 6 added on.
Damani Mello has been superb, and he just chased that into the channel, gives him team a little bit of respite. He's coming off now. He deserves his standing ovation. He's been absolutely brilliant. And Macclesfield have just got to get the yardage. As soon as they get them clearances and they compose themselves and get a big clearance up the pitch, they've got to try and get the yards and get the way up the pitch.
Macclesfield FC in survival mode. 90 seconds left. They lead the FA Cup holders 2-1 in what would be the biggest shock in this hallowed competition's history. Can they cling on? Paul Dawson and Buckley Ricketts gave them the lead either side of half-time. Pino grabbed one back from a delightful free kick a few moments ago. And it is the final 80 seconds of this one, counting down the clock. There's some Macclesfield FC fans standing up around us, fingernails being chewed. They can barely bear to look as Wharton collects the ball inside the centre circle for Crystal Palace. Now it's with Sosa and with Mark Gahey midway inside it. He launches the ball looking for the runners. Casey gets it inside the box. Cries of handball. Brennan Johnson left-footed ball into the box. Pino's arriving. Matheson clears it and it's fired over by Adam Wharton, and that might well be that. 60 seconds left of this one in the FA Cup third round. Macclesfield FC are seconds away from causing the biggest shock in the competition's history against the holders. The last time a non-league side beat the holders was in 1909. No six-tier side has beaten a Premier League side in this competition in its history, and it's a long history, 150 years of it. Silkman cries go around the ground as Max Sterney prepares to take this goal kick. 15 seconds left. We're all waiting for Tim Robinson to blow his whistle. The fans on their feet around us. It's Mayanese who concedes a throw-in on the left-hand side. Panics Brennan Johnson, goes across to take it. Midway inside the Macclesfield FC half. Cries of blowing the whistle. Hear those around the stadium at Moss Roads. Over 5,000 fans here on a day they will never forget. Can Macclesfield FC cling on? What drama in the FA Cup. It always delivers this competition. Richards launches the ball into the box. Offside flag has gone up, and that will be that. The referee hasn't quite blown the whistle yet. A few fans just tried to get on the pitch. Got to be careful here, Macclesfield FC. Just got to be a little bit careful that they don't lose their heads inside these last few moments. They have got that free kick though, so they're in possession of the ball, and it will probably be the full-time whistle.
I think it was a foul throw, was it?
Is it a foul throw on the far side?
So poor that, isn't it?
Yeah, that sums it up again. Sums it up again. It will be a foul throw against Palace. So it's Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, the former Manchester United man, who will take the throw in. The fans around us standing up on their feet. A historic afternoon for the Silkmen. It goes long. It's cleared away by Edmondson. Tim Robinson looks at his watch. The ball now on the left-hand corner flag. Keep it there. Buckley Ricketts, he can't quite as Gahey gets hold of the ball. Eyes on the referee. Is there one last chance for Palace? They're trailing 2-1 the holders. It's launched long by Crystal Palace. It's looking for Brennan Johnson. He flicks it to Sosa midway inside the Macclesfield FC half. Last ball into the box. Matheson rises highest and clears it. Pino desperately fires it in. Dawson has it on the edge of the box, and the referee blows the whistle. Scenes of utter jubilation here at Moss Roads as the fans stream onto the pitch, celebrating with their heroes on a day that Macclesfield FC will never ever forget. They have knocked out the holders of the FA Cup. Crystal Palace 2-1. Paul Dawson, Captain Fantastic, is on the shoulders of the Macclesfield FC fans as more supporters come onto the pitch. He has led from the front. His goal gave them the lead. Buckley Ricketts got the second. Palace got one late on. But in scenes that we have never seen at Moss Roads, Macclesfield FC have dumped Crystal Palace out of the FA Cup. It's a kind of FA Cup magic, Macclesfield, as they knock out the holders. 117 places between these two sides. Never has a club from the 6th tier of English football knocked out a Premier League side in the FA Cup. That has happened today. It's happened slightly nervy towards the end, but they were pretty comfortable for most of it, were the Silkmen, as Josh Kay is lofted aloft onto the shoulders. What an afternoon this is. What scenes we are seeing here, Joe Bunny. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable scenes, and they deserve every bit of that. They've been absolutely incredible today, Macclesfield, and like I say, you look at this as a cup upset, and the only reason it's an upset is because Crystal Palace are in the Premier League. But if you watch this game in isolation, Macclesfield were unbelievable and deserved everything today. Palace were so poor, but they were poor because Macclesfield were relentless. They bought into everything with a plan. You can see they got to half time, they nicked the goal before half time, and they come out and nicked another one. And do you know what? If Palace would have got back into the game there and equalised, it'd have been so gutting for Macclesfield, because they deserve that.
They certainly do deserve that. Incredible scenes here. Fans on the pitch, all huddling around. The players again a bit lost in amongst them. Just saw Josh Kay lofted aloft again on some of the shoulders. Man, SA is having fans take photos of him as well. There's more around the centre circle where there's Paul Dawson is in them right in the middle of it, Joe. Look at that, Paul Dawson.
He loves it. He loves it, Dawson. And like I say, he set the tone, didn't he? 30 seconds into the game, he splits his head wide open. He's got a big bandage round his head, and he was here, there, everywhere. He gets the goal that puts his side in front. He's celebrating every tackle, every block, every clearance. He's getting the fans up when they feel like it was a little bit flat at 2-1. He's been incredible, and he deserves that. He can enjoy his celebration, and I'm sure he'll have a beer tonight.
Yeah, and it'll be thoroughly deserved. Only 8 wins from non-league clubs against top-flight opposition in the last century. This is the history that Macclesfield FC have just made, Joe.
Yeah, they're amazing. And amazing for the owner, Rob Smithers, from what he's built from this club being almost on the verge of being distinct. It's unbelievable. These are the stuff you dream of, and he's a great person, and I'm so happy for him, and I hope they get an even bigger tie in the 4th round.
I mean, having the holders and beating them at home is a big tie in itself.
You can't really beat anyone higher than that, can you really, in the competition? But I just hope they get a really big Premier League tie, whether it's, I don't know, Man City away or something like that. Just something to enjoy. I mean, listen, there's always a chance that you get someone that's beatable. Listen, on that performance there, if they get anybody here, they're more than capable of winning the tie. So, yeah, great performance from Macclesfield. I'm over the moon for him.
Yeah, I can see Rob Smithers down doing some radio, TV duties. We'll bring you some hopefully before 3 o'clock when we've got Manchester City against Exeter City in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. But some nice scenes as well. The fans, Macclesfield and Palace applauding one another. Those Silkmen supporters still on the pitch, but they've gone across to the right-hand side and applauding those travelling 100 or so Palace fans that have come up on a really, really disappointing afternoon for the for the away side. Let's hear then from the boss, John Rooney. He's been speaking to the BBC's Mark Chapman.
Next year, he was nearly in tears. How are you?
No, I'm the same. Listen, when we got late on in the game, we're thinking about slowing it down with Spurs. I never thought we'd be in that situation, but I still can't believe it. Can't get my head around it. Lost for words at the minute.
It was fully deserved, though. I mean, that wasn't 2 half chances and you nicking it. You deserved that.
No, I thought we was incredible from the first minute. I thought first half we had a couple of chances, and when we took the lead, so the message at half time was to manage the game. Can we slow the game down? And then we go 2 up. I didn't see that coming, but I thought we were well deserved winners. To be honest, I thought we deserved the win. I think we mollified them to 1 chance in the first half, but I thought we were incredible to a man, and I couldn't be any prouder of the lads.
Do you know what, I think when you look back, you'll be even prouder, because like you say, for the first 45 you're outstanding. I thought you got your balance perfect, like when to press, when not to press. I mean, just gives a feeling of like what the lads are going through now.
Oh no, those are the messages to the lads. Without the ball, can we go 4-5-1? Any little triggers, that's our trigger to press, any slow passes, but I couldn't ask any more of them. You can see the joy in them out there, and I'm incredibly proud of them.
I thought every player was brilliant, but I thought Dawson was absolutely outstanding and led the team superbly. How would you feel about his performance?
Yeah, Dawson's one of them. You'd have a headache at times with him. You probably see that.
Here's his goal, John, as well.
He's got that in the locker. He's unbelievable in the air. Just before he took it, I turned round to Fran and said, Dawson scored here. That's why we turned round laughing, but he's got that. He scores goals from midfield, also can play centre half, but I thought he was outstanding today.